Hello, everybody.
There we go. Copy to Facebook. Hello. Hello there. Hello. I wonder if it's loud enough.
Well,
if it's not, I
does,
don't know. You're too old.
does it give the you any bars on that thing?
Yeah, it is. Awesome. We're gonna do a little throwback from our Revel.
Oh, HP
Day.
Radio Talk.
That's what I was saying. On the HP Radio Show. Okay, I'm gonna share it on my timeline, and then you can go to yours, right?
Yep.
All right, so hopefully they can hear us. I got audio. It looks like I need to turn it up a little bit though. Wow.
Yeah, all the EQ is all over the place.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Try yours.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up? He's old man Jack coming at you. Got stack of wax on wax.
Oh yeah, baby.
Did you go ahead and share it?
Yeah,
to your page. I'm sharing it to my Twitter as well. Tweet it out. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, cool. All right. So anyway, we are live coming from my patio in the backyard. We were at the bar. We decided, what the hell, let's go ahead and
sit down
and drink free beer.
Right? Malibu.
Cheers to y'all. And we are on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook watching this, we are live on YouTube right now. There's a chat on YouTube. I'll open my Facebook up as well. We'll see what happens on the Facebook there. But anyway, we are live on YouTube. So if you didn't get that, we are live. Matter of fact, I better post that on there. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and edit this post. This reminds me of the old days where we had to do so much stuff.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things. It's like, really, you know? Like,
you remember how we used to go through all the hoops to broadcast on YouTube, and now just hit one damn button?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I just want to go ahead and go right now. You know?
Yeah, I remember that. Like we had to patch it through some other stuff and all this crazy crap. It was nuts. So.
And my favorite part about that is the delay isn't as bad as it used to be.
Yeah, actually,
because I'm looking at.
Are you looking at the live? Because I'm looking here and we're time on right.
Yeah, on there it'll be time on right, but
okay.
We're just only a few seconds behind. So like if we mess up, we have no dump button.
We have no dump button. All right, so as many of you guys know, and this will be saved on our YouTube and our Facebook Live. I hope to get you guys. Actually, I'm gonna need to hashtag a bunch of stuff.
Hashtag everything
on it when we're doing. I can't do it right now, I don't think, but at the end of it, I'll do it when we're saving it all. All the Mandela, all that stuff. All right, so for those of you that don't know what the Mandela Effect is, I'll give you a quick dictionary term, supposedly. Actually, Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell them what the Mandela Effect is and what it actually refers to?
So, like, there's it actually came around when a large population of the world actually remembers Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
1991.
Yeah. And, and then we found out that, he got out of prison and was president and did all that stuff and, lived a good long life and then passed away.
I wouldn't say good. He was still in prison.
Well, no, when he got out of prison, he became the leader and did all that stuff. So.
That's what's happening.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you got the Samson instead of the other SM58. So yeah. Let's
we'll swap that out.
Swap a room real quick. How about that? This is live, folks. So you're getting us live and in the fresh. So hopefully you can hear us. Nobody's said anything yet. Here's the SM58. And you go ahead and put that, and we'll try that audio right there.
So that should be better.
Yeah, that's better.
All right. But that's a term that has been coined to cover anything that people remember differently than the way everybody else does.
Exactly. So it's not deja vu. It's simple things which we are going to discuss. And how I got into this is, as those of you who know, I had a bad knee, and I've been down since late May, and we are at July 10th. And I've been down laying in bed, my knee elevated. I've been watching. I'm Netflixed out, so now I'm watching YouTube videos. And I've always been into conspiracies, and you know that about me. I've got my own opinions on 9/11. I don't trust our government. My MH370 really got me because I watched it unfold live, because at that point I was off work for my back at the time. I'm always hurt, and I watched it live on CNN.
I'd have her stop beating you.
What's that?
I would have Stephanie stop beating you.
Yeah, right. So I was actually, I'm not trucking no more. Driver 91 just said that. I have been off for a year now. I actually got hurt on a job, and then my dad passed away. So I have followers on YouTube. Sorry. I got put on Cymbalta, and they wouldn't pass my physical because I was on Cymbalta. So for you truck drivers out there, less is more. Don't even put your own ibuprofen. So anyway, to answer your question, Driver 91, I have been absent for a year because of that. I've been working as a bar manager and stuff. So that's why I've not answered a lot of your guys' drivers' questions from my editorials from different trucking companies and so on and so forth. I apologize about that. So Driver 91, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry that I didn't do that. Hopefully you're watching from your cab, wherever you are, and you're driving safe, and you're going to get a little taste of what I did before I started truck driving. I just saw you popped up.
And the taste of what we now do for Geek Public Radio every Saturday night.
Yeah.
This is actually the reason I know this is in my wheelhouse now, because we do the throwback to HP Radio.
What was it? 5 years ago? We had it's somewhere around it. We started Rebel Radio online, and we had an HP Radio on Tuesday. My show's on Monday, and he would produce my show, and then we'd flip-flop on Tuesday, and he would do HP Radio, which is Who's Your Paranormal. And basically, we talk about conspiracies, UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all that kind of stuff. And I would produce that.
Come in and scare the heck out of him.
Shut up.
With Ouija boards and...
Mommy. God, that's still freaky. So anyway... I've always been into that stuff. Like I said, MH370 really got me. I started watching it. I watched the full unfold live because I have insomnia, and I would be up all hours of the night, and it'd be covered 24/7 on CNN, Fox News, wherever. And they're looking in the wrong spot. I'm yelling at the TV like they're going to listen to me, and so on and so forth. So then I started getting into other things recently, like time travel, and seeing videos on time travel. And then all of a sudden, this Mandela Effect came up. Now I've heard of the butterfly effect, but I never heard of the Mandela effect.
Well, it's kind of the same principle, and like you go back and if you're tying it to the concept of time travel, then it would be somebody going back and making small changes, and that being what you're seeing. Like people remember what it used to be before the change, and now all of a sudden things are spelled differently. Whole passages of books are different. Lines from movies are the same as what you remember. There's a whole bunch of them, and if you delve too far into it, it'll drive you crazy.
I'm hoping the mic is actually picking up. I don't see it picking up on there. I don't know if they can even hear us.
Huh.
Check.
It might be annoying, but I can find out.
Try it. Find out. Let's see what happens. Hell, that's all right. This is live. This is what happens when we do live stuff. Right. Driver 91, if you're on there, could you please report back to us?
Let us know.
Can you hear me now? That guy actually has more lines now that he went to Sprint. He does. Right. He really does. Right. He really does. Yeah, he really does. Let's see here. He really does. Let's see here.
He really does. I'm getting out.
Let's see here.
He really does. I'm getting out.
Let's see here.
He really does.
Okay.
I'm getting out.
Never mind. I guess they can hear us.
And there was like a really wicked echo thing going on.
So try your phone there real quick again. I just want to make sure they can hear us because I'm getting good levels now. on the board. Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to get that echo thing again.
Well, good. It's when you don't speak. That's cool.
Yeah,
All right. So anyway, where were we? I was talking about time travel, and then all of a sudden I got into the Mandela effect, which is really, really intriguing, and it is not deja vu for those of you that think it's like deja vu or something. It's basically, I personally think that it's intertwined with time travel.
Yeah, I have another thought, like, but we'll go into that as we talk.
Absolutely. If you got anything you guys want to say in the comments, that's cool. What do you guys think? Have you ever heard of it? But it's really cool. Basically, one of the what they call the holy grail of evidence is what everybody knows from Star Wars with Darth Vader. And Chris, you probably know the answers, right?
Oh, I know okay. Both of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So act like a normal person. What does everybody say Darth Vader says when Luke finds out?
Luke, I am your father.
Right. Everybody says, Luke, I am your father. I mean, you've seen it on everything, including James the toys. Even James Earl Jones. They even had a toy commission from Lucas Studios, the company, that has Darth Vader on the whatever that little stand is that he's standing on, doing this, and it says, Luke, I am your father. And in all actuality, everybody says that. If I was to go out live, like when you go to Gen Con and stuff like that would be fun to do, actually.
Well, actually, that was one of the things we were going to talk about.
That would be fun. I need to come down to that. I would love to come down and go around and ask people, like a list of 20 sayings that they think they know from a movie and get that response. That would be really cool. So anyway, Luke, I am your father is not what the movie says. If you don't believe me, go to YouTube right now and go to YouTube and click the clip of Luke, I am your father. He actually says, no, I am your father. Another one.
Then you hear, no.
Yeah, then you hear no. But they said that's the smoking gun. To me, there's a lot of them. There's little things. There's big things. Some of the biggest ones are
there's Forrest Gump.
Who remembers Snow White? Did you know this one?
Mm-hmm.
What does the witch always? Is it the witch? Mm-hmm. Is that right? The evil one. What does she always say to the mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
That's not what's said. It's magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And so for those of you that maybe didn't catch the first part of this because we didn't maybe not had audio, the Mandela effect is the way we remember things as opposed to the way they really happen. Now, how that's altered is it our brains? Is it something else? Because, and it is written that Nelson Mandela died in 1991, and the author of the book, it was even taught in is it South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
It was even taught in that grammar school in that book that he had died in 1991, and then even when he died in 2013, it had him dying 6 months before he actually died.
He dies a lot.
Yeah. So basically, that's how it became the Mandela effect. And then people started researching this stuff. And a lot of people who are Christians, right? Everybody knows the lion and the lamb. It's Isaiah passage. I can't think of it, 4 something maybe.
4:10, I think.
And it's the lion will lay with the lamb.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it really?
Grab your Bibles. It actually says the wolf will lay down with the lamb.
And these are things that people that they don't know, and it's like their perception.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Star Wars. There's another one. What color is C-3PO?
Gold.
Tell them the truth.
Go ahead.
Do you know?
No.
His left leg is silver.
Oh yeah, he's got one leg silver, and then now he's like one leg.
But even the toys are all gold.
Mm-hmm.
In the film, it shows the left leg silver. The cartoon, the video games, he's all gold, but we perceive him as all gold instead of that one leg is silver. And you can go in and check that out as well. So with the Mandela effect, it's kind of spooky how stuff happens because, it's like, is it memory or is it? I've even seen where they've had time travel, change the course of events, kind of like the butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. I've read things on that. I have my theory on it, but it's so like here's a big, huge. This is bigger to me than Darth Vader.
Okay.
Because there's so many memes out there.
Okay.
Okay. If I was to say to you, what if I told you this was just a reality show? What would that be from?
I've had one too many of these.
Or what if I told you that The Matrix was just a documentary? Morpheus actually says what people believe when he's talking to Neo, Keanu Reeves, during the pill situation, the red to blue pill. What if I told you this was all a lie? There are memes everywhere. There are quotes everywhere. In that scene, not one phrase of that is said. Not one. Not any of it. The only thing even close to says the reality of this world is not how you see it. There is no, I've watched it 50 times a day. It's not there. But there are memes everywhere of Morpheus. What if I told you that hashtags on Facebook don't mean shit? Stuff like that. You see these things everywhere. So basically, all these things that you think you know and you think you see are what do we call it? It's how you perceive things.
They call them. They said that you misremember. Things are misremembered or whatever. However, some of these items, when you get into start looking at them, like how can millions of people have the same false memory?
That's where everybody starts going with, how did this happen? Like the lion and the lamb. I mean, you ask any Christian,
you can misremember. You can have issues recalling movie lines.
Oh yeah, or the way a character looked, or something like that.
Life is like a box of chocolates. No.
That was another one.
No, it's life
was like a box of chocolates. They even have on the back of the DVD sleeve, life is like a box of chocolates. He actually said life was like a box of chocolates. If you don't believe me, go look at that one too.
But so I mean, we can.
You didn't share this, did you?
I did on mine.
Oh, you did on Geek Public Radio?
I
figured that'd be where everybody be wanting to see that.
No, I was planning on it. I just
So anyway, going through a lot of things today. We just mentioned a few of the more popular ones. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things, and then you get into what is the Mandela Effect, and how does it happen? Is it people just misremembering? But how do millions of people misremember such famous lines? I mean, like I said, we could go. How
do you misremember spelling a childhood book?
Yeah, the Berenstein or Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
There was a line in a, oh golly, what was it? This is hilarious. There's a line in, I can't remember what band it was. I'd have to watch it again. But the bottom line is it drove this girl so crazy that she actually tweeted the lead singer of the band and said, "What is this line?" And his tweet back was, "Wow, that's some Berenstain shit right there."
Because he remembers it the other way.
Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy. Vaseline. Okay. Pull up pictures of Vaseline. Everybody knows what Vaseline is. Even the song Vaseline by STP is spelled Vasolene. But it's actually spelled with a E.
Is it with an E?
Yeah. It's Vaseline. But there are people that remember it with an O. They remember it with an E. The song is spelled with an O. There's old stuff that says it's with an O, but the new stuff says it's with an E. And everybody still has that same thing. It's like they remember it two different ways.
Here's one where you even live when you look back at it. I can ask you how a Kit Kat wrapper looks, and you will tell me one thing, and then you look at it and you're like, well, that's not how I remember it, and it's always been that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a Kit Kat? That's the only bar?
Yeah. Well, no, that's just one of the things. It's like I remember with this and yada yada yada, and Well, I should probably turn that down.
Oh, you're blowing up, dude. But if you look into the Mandela Effect, it is really, really wild because I had no idea so much stuff was out there that is like common phrases. And people, like, for instance, like we always said, the lion and the lamb. I mean, that's in the Bible. And they'll go back and read it, and it says the wolf and the lamb. I mean, this guy I watched on YouTube said his dad was a minister, and he even asked his dad, said, yeah, it was laid with the lion and lamb. It's Isaiah, whatever passage it was, I can't remember. And matter of fact, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to live right now. I'm going to look up the passage.
I think it's like
It's Isaiah something.
4:10.
And we'll see what passage it is. And the thing is we've all grown up hearing, if you've had any type, or even if not, like around Christmas, you've heard of the lion and the lamb and so on and so forth. Bible verse, there it is. Isaiah 11:6 has always read, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie with the kid. But everybody has always said it's the lion and the lamb. And now when you do it, the top one is the lion and the lamb Mandela Effect debunked.
But here's the problem with debunking
a
Mandela Effect. If you're going to go back and grab old books, that is the core concept of the Mandela Effect.
Exactly.
It has been changed.
It's been changed.
Way back when, everybody's remembering one thing. You can't go, but here in this book from the 1870s, it's, that of course is going to have, what it's been changed to, because that is the...
You are popular right now.
Apparently.
Somebody wants to talk to you.
No, you can't talk to me. I will not talk to you.
You're live on air to millions and millions of people across the universe.
And I mean millions.
So what were you saying?
So no, the idea that you can go and well, no, look, here's proof that yada yada yada. So well, no, because it's changed somewhere, whether
That's
it be
the
in
point.
somebody's memory or at some point in time, something has changed. I can turn around and say, well, none of these exist, because if you go back and look through the original stuff, they don't say this. So the Berenstain Bears actually found old VHS that have the original, the other spelling, Berenstain Bears.
Yeah. I mean, it's with that one, I almost was like, is that potato?
Other than the authors' names are now Berenstein. And
yeah. But it's so fun when you get in there. Number one, Oscar Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
How it's spelled. It was always spelled Oscar Mayer. Didn't they have a song?
Yeah.
My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. It's Mayer. Yeah. But it's actually spelled Meyer. Somewhere along the time, it's weird. For those of you that want to understand the phenomenon exactly, it's an unexplained phenomenon that you experience without even knowing, and it's garnering more attention lately, and it's called the Mandela Effect, which is what we're talking about. It is what the internet and those are calling curious instances of which many of us are certain we remember something in a particular way, but we're incorrect. The name of the theory comes from
millions of us.
Yeah, millions. The name theory comes from the feeling of certain they could remember Nelson Mandela dying while he was still in prison back in the 80s, contrary to Mandela's death in December 2013, which actually it was on 91. And mind you, his funeral was on TV and everything in 91.
Yeah, because I'm one of them that remembers seeing it on in class.
Yeah, and and then it changed. Here's another one. Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City? I always thought it was Sex in the City.
Sex in the City is what I remember, but I think it's Sex.
But it's called Sex and the City. Now these might be little weird things, but you gotta understand. Here's one. We Are the Champions by Queen ends differently than they recall. Wow, this is a new one. Many of you are familiar with the song "We're the Champions." No time for losers, because we are the champions of the world. There is no of the world. The song just ends, and driving people crazy because they feel 100% sure that they heard otherwise in the past. I had not heard that one. Did you?
No, but actually, it sounds like it's
Play "We Are the Champions." I've got to. I've always thought it said that way. What do you mean? There's no results? Oh, it's searching my thing, my downloaded music. We are the champions. We're not monetized, so then kiss my ass. Okay, let's hear the end of this song. Oh, I gotta watch a commercial first because I can't do that. It's just amazing, some of these that actually, like you said, millions and millions and millions of people are actually wondering. I'm going to fast forward this to the end because I don't like this song anymore. Holy shit. That was live right there. Like, did you? I always thought it said of the world. I'm convinced it said of the world.
Me too.
Dude, I've got goosebumps right now. I'm not even joking. For those of you watching who thought "We Are the Champions," I know I've heard it, Chris. Have you heard it? I got to find another one.
No.
I got to find another verse or another. "We Are the Champions." I got to do this again. That was crazy. The live ones, you never know. He says of the world right there live on the. This is from.
That may be where people are picking that one up.
This
because,
is on live, but
right.
This was the official video shot back when they did it.
So maybe that's
weird.
maybe that's where you're picking it up, is the difference.
Hey, Jonesy's on. What's up, Jonesy?
The difference between a live track and the recorded.
Yeah.
Because
and
if he says,
that's for example, here's another one: the Monopoly Man. Does he have a monocle or doesn't he? I've always thought he had a monocle.
I remember him both ways.
The Monopoly guy.
Check out these pictures.
Once again, there's some that he's got. Some, even in Ace Ventura,
mm-hmm.
He put the monocle on. Yeah, he's got them both ways. Hasbro redesign. Here's one that's really, really, really.
Google Kit Kat.
Google Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Mandela Effect.
Mm-hmm.
The Kit Kat Mandela Effect. Mandela Effect proof Kit Kat. Explanation. Kit Kat effect is one of the most popular Mandela effects worldwide. Kit Kat is a term that refers to an object remembered in many ways.
Look at the logos, though.
Yeah, I am looking at the logos. There's one with a dash between it.
Yeah, do you remember it with a dash, or do you remember it without the dash?
I don't remember.
I always remember Kit dash Kat.
Huh.
On like the old stuff, and then I was like, okay, well, they got rid of it. Well, no, if you look back, they've never had one.
I'm gonna take an excerpt from The Mask on this next one. Okay, do you guys remember Jim Carrey, The Mask? Where he put the mask on, the green mask, and he could do all this stuff. He did a famous thing from the Oscars or the Golden Globes, where Sally Fields goes, "You like me,
love me, you really love me."
So let me see here. Jim Carrey, The Mask. You love me, you really love me. Okay, so this is from The Mask and Jim Carrey, and this is the scene and what he says.
Thank you.
and he's trying to spoof Sally Fields
as her award
as her award acceptance. But everybody has done that, and we're talking millions of people. You guys got to remember when you're watching this,
Sally Field,
including Sally Fields, thinks that she says this,
and that's another one. Sally Field or Sally Fields?
Shit, I don't know. We'll go one at a time here. Sally Fields, "You Love Me" acceptance speech. Now, everybody always says, "You love me. You really, really love me."
Mm-hmm.
It's been known. It's been a fact and everything. Here's her speech from...
In 1984, Sally Fields delivered an iconic line during her Best Actress
I don't want that
acceptance speech for an Academy Award.
You really like us. It is a great day, and you like me. You really like me.
Please stop that. We love you.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me.
That's actually what she said. Like, right now, you really like me.
You like me. You
It's
really like
it's
me.
no different than the Luke, I am your father that we discussed earlier.
Well,
I mean,
maybe somebody went back and changed the.
that's what we're saying.
You know, they're like, well, we don't really love you. We like you right now.
Let's see what else. The Berenstein Bears are actually the Berenstain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Curious George never had a tail. Did not know that.
Because he's a chimpanzee. Chimpanzees don't have tails.
Is Chick-fil-A...
Have a dash?
No.
Or
It's
CIC?
not spelled CHIC-FIL-A. Or is it CHIK dash FILA?
I want to say C.
There are many who have even thought it was Chick-fil-A.
Well,
However,
that was illiterate.
neither of those are correct. It's always been CHICK dash FIL dash A. I don't think I've ever seen that. Ever.
With the K, with like the full chick.
Like, I've seen this.
Where it's like CIC.
CIHIC.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I don't know. Here's the one. Darth Vader does not say, "Luke, I am your father." He says, "No, I am your father." Who has never in their life, even in Tommy Boy, gotten in front of a fan and went, "Luke, I am your father"?
I know
in front of
several
a fan?
people who've never actually seen the movie.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Here's one I told you earlier. C3PO is not all gold. His left leg is actually silver. Mr. Rogers. During Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, he'd sing a little jingle that many people remember beginning with, "It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood." It's not what it was thought. Instead, it states, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood." See, I remember this neighborhood. I just actually sang it that way, which doesn't sound right.
See, I remember it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
So I remember this neighborhood.
Yeah, so see, we're different timelines.
There, yeah. The Mona Lisa. This was a big one too. They even did digital analysis on, was she smiling, was she smirking, and they had it all came up, and it was all, nobody could tell. And then when you step back from it, you can clearly see she's smiling. They basically did all kinds of stuff on there, like where they map out her face and stuff. And they say, if you look this way, she looks like she's smug. But if you look at her this way, she looks like she's frowning. If you look this way, she looks like she's smiling. And it's another one, the Mandela effects. Here's the Kit Kat one.
It's like a
Kit
baby.
Kat does not have a dash.
It's like a baby, when she's farting.
Oh, here's a huge one. People remember Sinbad, the comedian.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
In a movie from the 90s, but there isn't one.
They went
now
as far.
there is a movie cover, a movie poster of him.
Well, no.
Shazam.
College Humor came out, and to play with that thing, because he gets asked about it all the time, Sinbad actually did a College Humor opening sequence to Shazam, that movie.
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
and they did like the full 9 yards just to play with the fact that people remember that he did that movie.
I wish we could show like go to switch to online and show people pictures and stuff. But there was an actual movie photo or VHS, if you will, sleeve of Sinbad.
Yeah, when it was
With
college.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement.
Because I think it was one of those things that College Humor did as part of their promotion,
But he
which
actually
totally
tweeted,
muddied
I've
the water.
never done Shazam, which is not to be confused with Shaquille O'Neal's Kazam.
Right.
But it's weird because did it happen? And somebody just, I was actually in an elevator with Sinbad. If I would have known that, I would have asked him. By the way, you really think he's tall?
And
he's not. He's not much taller than I am.
No, and he gets asked that all of the time, though. It's so much so that he's made fun of it on everything that like pops up anymore. It's like he has comedy bits where he's like, you know, like they're taking questions like, oh yeah, what are you doing now? Yada yada yada. Like, hey, I remember I remember when you did this movie. He's like, no, don't do drugs. I never did a movie called Shazam.
Wow. So then here's the Forrest Gump one. Life isn't like a box of chocolates. Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Here's the Hannibal Lecter one I never actually looked into, where he never said hello, Clarice. And once again, Jim Carrey, the one with Matthew Broderick, Cable Guy.
Yeah,
he puts the chicken skin. Hello, Clarice.
Well, see, I mean, that one can be explained as, you know, they didn't want to copy the line, so they would have done something similar that would have got the attention. And you're remembering the Cable Boy line.
Studied this one.
So
this one says, if you've seen The Silence of the Lambs, which I've actually never seen, don't shoot me, I've never seen it.
That's like somebody saying, I've never watched Star Wars. But,
I don't know. Star Wars is a little bit more popular, dude. So my wife was one of them. I made her watch all of them except the first one with Jar Jar. I told her that's not even worth your time. So, and I'm not even a fucking geek. I'm just like straight up. It's stupid. So if you've seen Silence of the Lambs, you know the most famous line is "Hello, Clarice." The only problem is it's never happened. And when Clarice first meets Hannibal Lecter, he simply says, "Good morning." This goes back to the Matrix. What if I told you?
Mm-hmm.
Never in a movie. And this is a long one. You look up memes of you know, like the Kermit the Frog sipping the tea. It's always like, none of my business shit. There's always a meme of Morpheus, and it says, "What if I told you that blah 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 blah." I even saw one with Keanu Reeves that had Keanu Reeves looking, and basically said like he's doing this, and he goes, "What if I told you The Matrix was just a documentary?" But the fact of it is, it was never even, that line was never even in the movie. Definite dilemma. I don't know who you are. It's not very memorable now. I'm not sure which movie you're talking about. Let me know which one you're talking about, and I'll touch on that. I'm on another page here trying to see. I have 20 examples of the doppelganger, Mandela Effect. Snow White, we said it never said who's mirror on the wall. It's magic mirror on the wall. There's one that's not on here that I found to be a really, really, really big one, because not only was this one that everybody thought, because it was Alice in Wonderland, Silence of the Lambs, the introduction between the two characters. It's not very memorable now. Okay, I got you. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or no, Alice in Wonderland. The Cheshire Cat. That says, we're all
mad here.
We're all mad here. And there's tattoos. There's tattoos of this everywhere with the Cheshire Cat or the top hat and this stuff, and that's not what he says at all.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I can't remember what they say he said, but that's what I remember is we're all mad here.
I think it says we are all mad. No, let me see here. Alice in Wonderland, we are all mad here scene. Here it is. Imagine having a tattoo of this.
Of course, he's mad too.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, you can't help that. Most everyone's mad here.
Most everyone's mad here. Now, you may ask us why we're doing this, and you may not be familiar with this, but as we've mentioned a bunch of
The
times,
silly things. I mean, there's even silly things outside of that. Do you remember Jiffy peanut butter?
that was actually on there.
Yeah.
I didn't read it though. What was it? I exited
You
out
have
of it.
Jif
And then Jiffy.
and Jiffy.
Okay.
Jiffy never existed.
Okay, so here's the main thing we're talking about for those of you not familiar with it. Why are these things the way they are to millions? Once again, we got to keep repeating this. This isn't just Chris and I or just a group of
Yeah, there's
dudes
a
just sitting in
lot
a
of
basement.
people.
These
There's
are like
a lot of
Christians.
people.
We're talking Christians. I bet you 90 some percent of Christians believe it's the lion and the lamb. And it's not. It's the wolf and the lamb. So this is why we're talking about it. Let me see. The scene that involves the bear costume is very different now. Many mentioned in the subcredit, but no mention in YouTube really. Which one are you talking about there? Definite Dilemma. We don't have that big of a lag time, do we? You're only like a half a second. Yeah, we're not. Okay, so he'll respond real quick. But yeah, the thing about this is you have your theory about Chris is behind me. You have your theory about what the Mandela Effect is, and then I have mine. So we'll talk about that as well. For those of you at home watching this, I'd encourage you to look it up, and it's very interesting. I mean, extremely, extremely interesting, because not only is it something that it makes you think, it's curious, and I just want to throw this out there. Yeah, I believe in a lot of stuff. I believe I have my own beliefs on 9/11. I have my own beliefs on MH370. I have my own belief on UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, ghosts, Kennedy assassination. Definitely my belief on that. Matter of fact, that's a Mandela effect. Did you know that? That's one of the four people in the car. The scene in The Shining where Wendy finds the two men in one of the rooms, one wearing a bear suit, it has changed and has even it has residue from what I remember. I have not heard that one. Thank you. So this guy, whoever you are, is definitely familiar with this Mandela effect. So my opinion is let me tell you a little bit about what I believe. Okay, I do believe in UFOs, because if you think that we are the only ones in this whole space, you're ignorant. Yeah, I mean,
Mathematically
we
speaking,
haven't even reached how far as far as we know, it's infinity. Maybe there may be an, we don't know, but to think that we're the only ones is just arrogance to me. And that goes along with my time travel. A guy that supposedly time traveled said, "Those what you see are actually time traveling pods," is what he says. They're not UFOs; they're time traveling pods. I believe in ghosts. Absolutely, I have one in my house. I got to tell you about what happened the other day at my. I got to show you inside though. I've always had a ghost in my house. His name's Fred. I've always called him Fred since I lived here. He just messes with shit, moves stuff around, doesn't hurt me. He's cool. I even had a girlfriend who thought she was psychic. She told me he lives in a back bedroom. I was like, whatever. It's actually where I normally shoot from doing the show. But the ironic thing was, just the other day, my son was playing across the street with the kids who he's grown up with. My son is now 15. We lived here since he was 2. And he'll be 16 actually coming up in a couple months.
I feel.
And his friend across the road, what did he say? He said something, and Braden goes, "Yeah, it's Fred." And Jacob goes, "You have a Fred too?" He goes, "My imaginary friend's named Fred." And that was really weird, because like we've never talked about it. Like the other day, I had my guitar case that Dad made for me before he passed away, and I was laying in bed, and my door, it sounded like somebody just went bam like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Come in." I thought it was Braden just pissing with me. And I come out, and our picture that sits on top that fell on the ground, and our door to the case was wide open. Doesn't seem like a big deal, right? Only problem is the hook in that bottom is so tight. When you pull it, you actually have to pull it. it'll go click, like because it's one of the round hooks.
Mhm.
It'll go over and go like that. It doesn't just come undone. That's like the freakiest thing ever. So anyway, I do believe in ghosts. I do believe in UFOs. Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. I think they are fun to believe in until I have actual
seen
proof.
one.
You saw Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Cool. Until I see
No,
one.
like I get scared the shit out of
I'll
me.
bet. I'd love to hear that. But Bigfoot, I think I believe in a little bit more than a Loch Ness Monster. Because I do believe that maybe there's too many sightings, there's stuff like that. Loch Ness Monster, something that big. I think it's fun to believe in, and I want to believe in it. I don't say I don't. I'm just saying I'm a skeptic there. Would that be a good way to put it?
Well, I mean, there were submarines that actually got through those locks and stuff. So
it's something that big.
Something that big. Well, I mean, if a submarine can get in through those locks, then something that big can get in and out of those locks without.
That's and I want.
So
to.
I mean, that's it. So it's could be. It'd be cool, but
Okay, we see definite dilemma. By the way, whoever you are, thank you so much for chiming in. He says my greatest fear is that the Mandela effect is just a psyop.
Yeah.
For the government to rewrite history and control perception. That's where we're getting ready to go. So hang on, dude, because we're getting ready to run down that rabbit hole. No pun intended, since I just talked about Alice in Wonderland. The Trump Mandela effect.
Well, I mean, this is you can't really
the Pizza Gate. Have you heard of Pizza Gate?
No, I have not heard of
This
Pizza Gate.
guy's talked about this 5 years before it happened with Donald Trump's, I don't know, brother. So I have to look that up. We did this on a whim. We kind of said to Bart, said, hey,
well, we were
let's do it
sitting around.
raw.
We were sitting around talking about this and went,
screw this. Let's go live.
Let's go live. This is
Let's
way
get raw.
too. Like,
Yeah.
This is because we were bringing stuff up and we're like, oh yeah, this, and this. So,
Dilemma says, once again, thank you, Dilemma. Oh, I always liked believing in the idea of aliens and ghosts, friendly ones anyway, but the Mandela effect isn't the only thing I've seen personally. I'm with you, man. If you would like to tell us what else you've seen, just go ahead and jump in.
I have a personal Mandela effect that drives me crazy.
Okay.
Growing up and graduating school and all that stuff, I knew a girl who I remember getting in a car accident, having neck problem, whatever, being fine, going on and doing whatever. Everybody else remembers that she passed away.
Really?
Yeah. And it floored me. Then when they're like, oh, no, she's dead.
I just now realized I have one too.
And it was like, no, like, seriously, I remember her walking around with the halo thing around her neck and this, that, and the other. And like, no.
Who was it?
I'd rather not say because.
Okay. Do I know her?
No.
Okay.
It's tied to it's tied to another.
Got you. My mother. This is a perfect example. I am 41. Just last year, this happened.
Mm-hmm.
For all my life, my mother's middle name was Marie, Cynthia Marie. We even named Melina, my niece, Melina Marie. Or we didn't. My brother did, of course. Last year, all of a sudden, my mom's name, she found out middle name was Maria. My mom is 65.
She just found out.
Just found out. That's got to be a Mandela effect. That's weird.
How do you randomly find out that your name is different?
I don't remember what she said. She
look up her birth certificate.
It was some with her birth certificate. But she's 65. I think even on her wedding certificate with Dad, it says Cynthia Marie. Matter of fact, I think on my birth certificate, I'm about to go in there and look now.
That means you're not a valid birth.
Maybe I fell through the crack. Whoa, dude! What happened to chat? Oh, there it is. Holy shit!
Did it explode?
Nope, he's there. Okay, back in 2015, I'm talking about Definite Dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Fruit Loops become.
Oh yeah. It went from
overnight.
Fruit Loops.
It went from FROT to like fruit, like actually how you spell fruit overnight
to FRO
via mention on the. I'm sorry, I got a glare from the back. I don't have a no glare screen. What does it say? Via mention on the subreddit. Sure enough, it changed everywhere online. 2 weeks later, it changed back to Fruit Loops. That's what we're saying. It's, to me, I think this stuff has to do with time travel and the government. Is my opinion. It's almost like the butterfly effect. I think people are going back and doing things. I actually saw a time traveler video saying that he came back because we were on the verge of civil war again. The U.S. was in 2008, and because of the economy and all the other shit, and then they needed something to bring the country together, and they were trying to figure it out. And he actually went back, and that's what happened at 9/11, which is what I've always believed. Not that the time traveling part, but I've always believed the government created 9/11, and I went on and on and on about that before. But anyway, so he told us that created a way for us to unite as one country, because now we weren't mad at each other. We were mad at all the stands, Afghanistan, Pakistan, whatever. And then, we went over there. He also said World War III will be in 2020. It will be a short war. And Trump will be reelected in 2020. But Oprah will also run and will not get it. He will be impeached, but not till after his 2020 reelection. He says Bitcoin will be worth a lot of money and will be recognized as a currency. So now I'm looking into ways to get cheap Bitcoin.
Well, you can't get cheap Bitcoin. They're around $1,600.
I saw a thing the other day that said Bitcoin. If you had $100 in Bitcoin in 1991, it is now worth $75 million. Damn it. Where the hell were we, Chris?
Going, cryptocurrency. What is that?
Yeah.
No, the fun thing when you're looking back at some of these things, you're looking at the idea that time travel is to blame. I've heard theories that it was talking about CERN. However,
yeah.
However,
string theory.
It wasn't tying that the theories tying it to time travel is that there was a cabal of individuals who got together at CERN and found time travel and went back to stop global apocalypses and this, that, and the other. And that's where we're living at today is them going back and trying to, avert major catastrophe. And that's how we got to today. However, as things change, they start to forget that they changed them and now are afraid that somebody else is going back and changing history. So it's a weird,
well,
and that's, I don't know, see, if you go back to change time and everybody else changes with it, how, and now you come back and you're like, or what are you changing? You can't do that. And that throws the whole wrinkle in, if you change something and then come back and then people start noticing things are changing, who do you blame? Because they don't remember sending you back to change it.
Right, exactly. Which it's ironic, but if you watch The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon has that conversation about time travel when they bought the time machine from the actual, what was it?
It was the prop, whatever.
It was the actual one from the movie. What is it?
The Time Machine by H.G. Wells.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And Sheldon explains a classic, as he calls it, time travel
paradox.
Classic time travel mistake. And when he explains it, it's true. He's like, can I go back in time and never, somebody mad at you? No, because you would never been mad at me, which would have created you to never had to go back in time to make you be mad. It's like you start thinking about crap like that. That's where this Manheim or the Mandela effect.
It starts bleeding in. It's like, did that really?
Yeah. I do it in movies all the time. I mean, movies that I've watched time and time again. This is the first thing that popped in my head. I've watched movies and watched them on TV, and there was a scene on there that wasn't on there in anything I'd ever watched. I'm talking some of my favorites. Okay, Some might like I watched 20, 30 times. I thought, oh, it's just probably a deleted scene at the end. Watched it again, never seen it again. Never ever seen it again. I wish I could remember what it was. One of them was in Clerks 2. I remember that because Clerks 2 I probably watched 30 or 40 times. And when you make that for TV, you know, you got to edit shit out of it. Anyway.
Right? That's like saying Deadpool for TV.
Yeah. Hey, Definite Dilemma. Just out of curiosity, are you one of my YouTube followers or are you a friend of ours? What's your name? I won't say it out loud. I'm just curious who you are. You are very, very active in the chat, and I really, really appreciate that. I mean, it's fun. It's been a long time since I've done this. I actually like this better than what I did on the air. Hello, Clarice. Hello,
no,
Clarice.
you're still
wow,
there.
I was gone. Nope. Check.
I don't know. Like
Check.
Did his mic die?
Hello. Checked. Oh, there it is. Sorry. I didn't have my PFL meter on. Anyway, I have followers, a bunch of followers from when I did all the trucking videos. I was just curious if I could give the truckers this kind of stuff, would be cool.
Hey,
Just a
no.
wanderer, keeping up to date. On the cool, man. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate you chiming in on this. If you have anything to chime in on the Mandela or anything else, man, feel free and we'll talk about it. As far as I'm concerned, though, this all came to me because I've been watching so much time traveling videos, and I would like to get in that a little bit as well. I mean, if anybody's ever watched me and Christopher, it's kind of an ADD situation anyway.
No, it's always an ADD.
Yeah, because you know one thing leads to another, and you know we have some
And
really
alcohol.
good. Oh yeah, we got a lot of it to go to. We're drinking Busch Light because we're cheap. That's right, and it's not bad. So anyway, we're time travel. I've been watching a lot of that, and of course there's the one that's famous on YouTube. I think it's Apex. They always blur the face out and stuff. But one things I find are you and I mentioned earlier the Charlie Chaplin video with the woman on the cell phone. There's one with Mike Tyson. It looks like somebody's got an iPhone in the back like that. And then I told you one that you had not heard before about the classic picture of
Well, yeah, it was the guy with what looked like the
a-
sunglasses and the Wu-Tang shirt.
with it was like a hipster.
Yeah,
And
and
the
then
guy one over from him was a time traveler with him, and nobody knew. I didn't know it till the other day when I was watching it.
yeah, I didn't see
and,
that. I didn't. I was always focused on the guy going.
Yeah, and so you know, and then there's one that actually went back, and he shows that he shows us a picture of himself. At the Lincoln where he gave the Gettysburg Address. Let's see here. Death Dilemma. My name includes 2 Mandela effects. I saw the first word flip flop. It was my only other flip flop besides Fruit Loops. You know, that's pretty cool. But you start diving deep into this Mandela effect, and
There's
it makes
little
you
stuff.
question.
Yeah, I mean, and you're like, you can pass off like half of it. You're like, whatever. You know, oh, that's just this, that's just this, until something hits you at home.
I'm telling you right now, I
There is
grew up in
something.
church. It was the Lion and the Lamb. And then I know when I watched The Matrix, what if I told you everything was a lie? It was in there. Everybody knows it. And I swore it was Luke, I am your father. Did you think that too?
That's what I remember, and that's what Samuel not Samuel, James Earl Jones remembered.
It even shows in the script, Luke, I'm your father, and he said, I immediately went, holy crap, because you know they kept that such a secret. But
there's interviews where him saying, you know, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, and you know it's funny because like we've said a million times on this, no pun intended. This isn't just a handful. This is millions. Like that's why I think the Bible one sticks with me so much, because everybody knows the Bible, and it's always been the lion and the lamb to everybody, but it's the wolf and the lamb.
And if you preface it and say, what do you remember about Isaiah? Was it 11:6?
Yeah, 11:6. They'll say the lion laid with the lamb.
Most people go, huh?
Yeah,
oh, the one like, you know, is what is it like? You lays down with the lamb. No, the lion lays down with the lamb.
And if you go,
so much so that when I walked into a church and said, you know, everybody dove into their Bible.
Yeah.
And went, no, it's just right here, and I'll be damned.
Yeah. And
You're
how
like,
did that change?
when did that change?
And,
Like,
and
when did
let's face it, out of everything in the world, I don't care if you're a Star Wars fanatic or part of the American Legion or the Elks, whatever. Christianity in any form is the biggest group of people in the world. Would you agree? I'm talking about Christianity. That means Catholics, Christians, Baptists, any type of I should say religion. Religion is one of the biggest groups of people in the world. You're talking probably billions, right? That believe in something.
Yeah.
Let's just even take the ones that believe in the Bible, not the atheists or this or that. Let's just go.
You
with
still
people
have billions
of
of people worldwide that have a Bible,
and I've always done that. And now all of a sudden it's this. It's like my mom. All of a sudden find out her middle name is Maria, and she's 65 years old. That's messed up. And that makes me think about the Mandela effect. And then how in the world did this happen? Oh yeah, the Statue of Liberty. Oh, he's bringing up a different one. Has a red torch, and when I first saw it just a few weeks ago, I had to do a double take. I thought it was real life. When a picture, to me, the torch was always green. I don't know. I don't remember that. But there is one about the Statue of Liberty. Everybody thought it was on Ellis Island. Even the plaque, because that's where the immigrants come in. Even on the plaque, so a lot of stuff. The platform they made it, but it's on Liberty Island.
right?
But I even thought it was on Ellis Island. I thought it was on Ellis Island.
I'm on one of the Liberty Island because it was a separate.
Now, I have not looked into this one yet, but evidently the Holy Grail of the Mandela Effect has got something to do with the continents. Have you heard about that one yet?
No, I have not heard about that one.
Live right here, we're going to do this raw. This guy says he was already blown away, and I never looked at the video. So let's do the Mandela Effect. There's so many of them now.
Yeah, no, and they keep adding up. That's what kills me about it. And people are like, "Well, no, here, look at all these old books."
Yeah,
like it's like you can't say it's. You can't disprove it by looking at old books because the whole premise of the Mandela Effect is something has changed and changed it from the beginning. You remember it a certain way because that's how you grew up remembering it. Millions of people remember it that way, but you know.
Looks almost like things are normal, but when you query what continent is Papua New Guinea?
Papua New Guinea?
It's someone had to explain Papua New Guinea is not Asia, but you can't quite call it. Okay, this is one of the guys that does not know how to do something because he doesn't. Okay, so here we go. Just a quick video on the new continents because see he didn't give me enough to read it. On deposit. Here's a quick video on the new continents because I smell something stinky in here. When you do a search of the seven continents, you get this nice and reassuring. And then he shows a map of how we see it. I can't show you this, unfortunately. I wish I could share. I don't know if I can share on YouTube or not here. This is something we did just last minute. What's that?
You need software to do that. So.
See, Dilemma says he remembers Ellis Island too. But then again, Cals, Brazil, and Australia, they're all. Yeah, there's something about Australia too, which I think I'm getting ready to get into. There's so many of them.
That's actually in a different spot than where you remember it.
So this is
on a map.
If you would look at this, Chris, is this not a map of how you would see the world?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to fast forward here. Looks almost like things are normal. Yes. But when you query, what continent is Papua New Guinea on? You get this. Must be when you ask a question, he must be British. Papua New Guinea.
Oceania?
It's on Australia. Look, that's where it's showing it. Australia.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Papua New Guinea is Australia. It's as if something or someone has to explain why Papua New Guinea is not Asia, but you can't call it quite Australia either because that's weird.
It's in the islands.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
It's the island chain between Asia and, I thought, isn't it? Like where you got
since when do
New
we have
Zealand
two continents names? So which one is it? God, he's too quick. I hate when people don't know how to do this. It seems messy, as if whoever the AI reprogrammed this place, making some errors. That's another thing, and not quite making sense. It's a new place we are in. I have seen something else besides that. Zealandia, another continent, time travel. Here it is. This is odd. I wish I could find something to read on, unfortunately.
So on December 29th, I made this
Like
video.
I
It's
said,
called
it was
Unknown
just one of those
Continent in
things that we
Zealandia.
I have to
And if you-
read into that a little bit more because,
They're saying that there's another continent, Zoolandia.
yeah,
I think that
I'm
was
gonna
a
have to look
movie.
on that more because
I think that was a movie.
Zoolander.
No,
Zoo.
the where like everybody's an animal and like you had like the sloth was a
Yeah.
DMV.
Okay. But that one was a big one. I didn't research that one though because I didn't have time. I was gonna meet you, but there's one on there that's really good, and it's definitely not. They say it's like the biggest like nuclear bomb too. They're like, oh my god, this proves everything, you know.
They always say that though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the two for me have to. There's four of them: the mirror on the wall, the Lion and the Lamb, the Matrix, and the Luke, I am your father. They are all ones that everybody, you know, pretty much, you know, says the same thing. I mean, there's stuff like old stuff like, did Mickey Mouse have suspenders and all that? Like, those are little things, you know what I mean? They could have at one time painted him without them and then painted him with them. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But to me, the ones that are big ones are like James Earl Jones even thought that he said, Luke, I am your father. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris is no longer engaged in our
No, I was
conversation.
looking at Papua New Guinea, and that's exactly where I remember it being.
Yeah, they have it somewhere else, which I can't. I have the sun of my eye now.
Because you have like New Zealand, which is the south.
Maybe that's why they're
West.
calling it Zoolandia.
It's Oceania, like so it's because it's in the middle of the ocean. It's a giant island.
All right. So anyway, with the Mandela Effect and people remembering things a certain way, you know, and some examples of holy cow. Here's a list of the top 250
250
in July 2018. That was done
this year.
a few days ago, actually. Oh, come on. Turn my.
Well, as you're looking that up, that you know, this is something that didn't actually get like.
This is recent, yeah.
Yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot of press about like, and it's just like blowing up. The more and more that people talk about.
Why is this not loading?
Because it was a Mandela effect that it was even supposed to be there.
Look at it.
Oh, that's just bad code.
Oh, fuck. Man, there's 250 bitches. Steve Bartman catch? Oh, I'd like to see that. Are they saying that's a Mandela effect?
That he actually didn't catch it, or that he, you know, people remember that he didn't.
I don't know. Like, it won't load this. I would love to see this page. I got my ad blocker turned off.
No, you got me looking like the Steve Bartman catch.
Mandela effect. Popeye's enemy? Wasn't that Brutus?
Bluto.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna Popeye's enemy Mandela effect now. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's so funny. The more you look into it, the more you find. There it is. Popeye enemy Mandela effect. See, what did I say?
Brutus or whatever.
I said Bluto.
No, I said Bluto. You said
I
Brutus.
said Brutus. There it is. Is it Bluto or Brutus?
Bluto, because that's
You saw that live right here. I said Brutus. Popeye's enemy, alternatememories.com. It's the same damn page, but it says right here, Popeye's nemesis. Is it Bluto or Brutus? And I said Brutus, right? On a wheel, watch back. That is crazy. I always thought it was Brutus.
Okay, so here's the Steve Bartman thing. How do you remember it going?
I remember Moises Alou jumping up for it. I remember everybody going for the catch and Bartman grabbing it from like the top of his glove and sitting down. And then like all of a sudden the assholes around that went for the ball or against him when all of them son bitches went for it too. And then they escorted him out with security with people throwing shit at him and
That's
stuff.
what a lot of people remember. However, now people at the time question whether he kept the ball. You know, the problem is that now they find he never caught the ball, instead deflected it from the glove while trying to catch it, causing it to be a foul ball. That is what people are saying now, that it wasn't, he didn't catch it and pull it, it didn't take it away from him, that he just deflected it.
Okay,
and
now
it
I gotta
became a
watch
foul
this.
ball,
Steve Bartman.
causing it to be a foul. So
Catch.
they remember hearing what happened about talking with others, that they're sure that he caught it.
Again in the air, down the left field line. Alou reaching into the stands and couldn't get it. He's lit it with a fade.
Okay.
That's awfully close to fan interference right there. The umpire's all over it. The umpire right down there, Mike Everett's on the play. If Alou has to reach into the stands, it's fair game for the fans to catch the ball. If the fan reaches out over the field, then it can be ruled fan interference. That is very, very close.
This guy, there was probably 10 people trying to get that ball, and Bartman just got ran for that crap, dude. That's terrible. But I'd never heard of that Mandela effect, though.
So yeah, that's where the Bartman thing is, that he actually didn't catch the ball and didn't have to be escorted out by
the Tin Man's Gun and the Wizard of Oz. I've not heard this one. And that's a Mandela effect. Okay. Tin Man's Gun, Mandela effect. Scarecrow has a gun.
Huh? Oh, that kind of screams like the guy hanging himself thing.
Yeah, everybody knows that one. The Wizard of Oz. Okay, features a scene where the Scarecrow the Scarecrow. Wait, inexplicably has a revolver firearm. Wait a minute. It says the Scarecrow. I said the Tin Man. The Scarecrow has a gun. Scarecrow has a gun. I want to play this Good band. Scarecrow has a gun.
I'd turn back if I were you.
Like when you're on Skype and you can share your screen. And the Tin Man's hat changed. Man, I'll tell you what, Def Dilemma's all over.
Where
dude.
did he get a? I don't remember him having a.
Where the hell did he get a gun? This is crazy. All right, so I can't see if. Let me see here. I don't see anything that shows how to share my stream or share my screen with you live viewers.
Like I say, who in the name of Oz gave the brainless guy a gun?
Well, that's no kidding. Well, that's cool. So anyway, back on track here. The time travelers that I was watching, did they go back and change things? Did they go back, like let's take Oscar Mayer? Did they go back and create Oscar Mayer and spelled it different? Did they, the Kit Kat, they do the same thing with that?
or if it's just something they changed, influenced somebody, and those subtle differences came back, because we were talking about the butterfly effect. If you go back and change one small detail, it could echo.
Yeah. And so I'm sorry, I don't know if you got to explain yours, but what is your theory?
No, I've been holding on to mine.
Okay, I want to hear your theory on the Mandela effect.
Well, the one thing, because when we did the show on time travel and the Mandela effect on Metal and Madness on Geek Public Radio,
shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. What we talked about was, we looked at it. There is a whole lot of stuff tied to CERN, in the sense that whatever they did in 2012 skipped the tracks. So if you look at current theories on like string theory, quantum physics, all it talks about multiple universes and the things playing out in different timelines in different ways and whatnot across these universes. And one of the theories is whatever they did actually jumped us from our reality and merged us with another reality. So we basically went, whoop, and the changes that we're seeing is related to the differences in those two timelines coming together. So like where we remember Berenstain Bears and people remember Berenstain Bears, and that's what it's because we came from the other
side.
Yeah. And it was because somebody when everybody's going, oh, it's going to rip create a black hole and
rip a hole in the time space continuum.
Yeah, and then all the protests that happened when CERN was powering up, that they actually did, and the universe corrected by merging the two.
Huh.
Which to me, like, sounds like a whole lot of craziness. I mean, it sounds like a lot of craziness, but on the other end of it, like, you didn't see the uptick in, oh my God, this happened, yada yada, until it was after the CERN collider launched and they did their first experiments.
Yeah.
Then you started seeing more people caught, and the Mandela effect hit full steam, taking off track. Like, people kept finding more and more things. And
now, see, I just learned about this today. I've always been watching time travel and my theories on conspiracy. I love conspiracy theories. I can talk about conspiracy theories all day long. Man, now I'm in this Mandela thing, and it's just so fun because there's just so, it's like everything like we've done live here. Anybody that's came on and said something is that, it's like everybody's got something new.
Mm-hmm.
Dilemma says, my theory is we live in a simulation, and scientists say in quantum physics there is a bedrock of data code like computer code, and they think that they edit the code and everything changes immediately, which is ironically where I was getting ready to go, where what if they weren't lying? What if the Matrix really was a documentary? Which is exactly what he's saying. What if it really was a documentary? Like ignorance is bliss.
When he was talking about the programming and all that stuff, I knew exactly where he was going to go with that, and it's scary because there's certain things, because we were talking about there is actually a picture of a 4-person.
Yeah, and Kennedy's
assassin. Yeah. There are 4 people in a car. Yeah. There's a picture of it, and you can Google it. And
I saw it today.
And then there's a picture of the 6-seater, where you have the driver and a security guy, and then you have another row, and then you have the row that
I've never seen a 6-seater. I've only seen a 4-seater.
Yeah, Google it. Like, there's the 6-seater.
That's one of the things I'm fascinated with, because it's a conspiracy, and I believe Kennedy was killed not by Oswald. I believe every conspiracy has a fall man. Oswald kills Kennedy, or no, Oswald gets. It's like, have you ever seen Shooter with Mark Wahlberg? Mm-hmm. That's how it starts. So they got the fall man, and then what happens? Jack Ruby kills Oswald, and then Jack Ruby gets killed. Mm-hmm. Now there's no traces of anything.
By the way, did you know Ruby was actually meeting with people in Muncie?
Oh, not in Muncie. I didn't
At
know.
the upstairs in the.
You mean
docks?
Bobby Kennedy?
No, Ruby.
I'll say Bobby Kennedy was in Muncie.
So
the
was
day-
Ruby.
I think it was the day Kennedy got shot.
No, but Jack
We're
Ruby
from Indiana, by the way, if
Yeah.
you're watching this.
Jack Ruby was actually meeting with individuals at the old Docks Music Hall up in the upstairs at the time, because it wasn't a bar or whatever. It was actually businesses and whatnot. He was upstairs meeting with individuals from Chicago at the time.
Dilemma says he remembers the old universe having the driver as a conspiracy theory suspect.
Where he turned around and fired.
Now the idea of the driver doing it is nearly impossible. I
because there was another row of seats between them.
See, I only remember the 4.
No, because there was a Secret Service agent sitting next to the driver, and the governor and his wife were sitting in the jump seats, and then you had Kennedy and Jackie.
Yeah,
sitting. So there was 6 seats. Whereas I remember it was the driver, and I remember the driver and the governor sitting in the front seat with Jackie and Ken.
Shit, there is 6 seats in that.
But there's also pictures of a 4-seater.
Yeah, I remember the 4 for some reason. I don't remember
And the car that's in the museum is a 4-seater.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go here. There's 6. There's a picture from behind where there's 4.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the picture. I just need to find it. I actually saw it today.
Because if you type in, for those of you playing at home, if you want to type in,
boom, there it is, right there.
4-seater or
4-seater.
6-seater.
Six-seater, 6-seater. All right. Now I gotta do this. Sorry for the quiet there on the thing, folks, but we're literally doing this live and raw. Guys, there are so many of these things. And the Kennedy assassination is not only one of the things that basically amazes me, but it is something that I'm very, very into because I believe in conspiracy theories, and I don't trust our government.
There is a 6-seater.
Yeah, that's the picture I just saw. I'm actually trying to find a video.
There is the 4-seater.
Yeah, that's a picture I saw today. There's
using a Bell and Howell 8mm camera with a telephoto lens. Abraham Zapruder captured one of the most shocking moments in history.
Okay. And
there is a 6-seater.
Pause. And the video shows a 6-seater.
Then where are we getting
the 4-seater?
Where are we getting the 4-seater?
Yeah, that's what I saw. See, this Mandela effect is weird, dude. I mean, there's just so much out there. They use replicas and even have a government reenactment video of the assassination with only 4 seats. An official video with such a big inaccuracy. Also, now there are many video accounts of the assassination that used to just be the famous Zapruder film.
And that is from the newspaper.
Yeah.
Which shows a 2-seater or a 4-seater car with all of the stuff like strewn out, like it was like right after, and
I don't know, but
from life.
Where was Definite Dilemma when we were doing HP Radio? Dude, you would have loved that show, especially the guy that called in and saw Bigfoot.
So, you go from Life magazine having a picture of the car after it happened to that.
Yep. I wish we could share this with the viewers, man. And for yourself, Google this stuff. Google the JFK assassination. See if you see 6. First of all, ask yourself, do you remember 4 in the car? I remember the driver, the passenger, Jackie, and JFK. I do not remember 6 people. That's my remembrance.
That's what I remember.
Is that what you remember too? Now
I don't know if you can see. You probably can't.
Matter of fact, I've never seen a picture of 6 until today.
Really?
And I even watched it with Kevin Costner.
Right?
Yeah, this is crazy, man.
Because in the 4-seater, one of the things was the conspiracy theories.
The bullet went through Kenny and hit the passenger.
Right, and went through and buried into the or into the dashboard. Because it like went through and came out and went through his wrist and then like down into the dashboard. Well, that wouldn't have happened in a 6-seater because you would have had to hit the Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
But no, like one of the things is like the driver did it because you seen him turn about whatever and like shoot or like him turn in a manner that would have, that was one of the conspiracies.
Well, I don't believe Oswald did it or acted alone. First of all, to get those off, I don't know any shooter in the world that could have done a bolt action rifle, get those off with such accuracy doing that
fast.
And second of all, how does his head blow backwards when he's getting shot from behind? Anyway, but now we're on a whole different topic. We could exhaust this Mandela effect forever. I mean, because there's just so many of them. It's just like I just want to just throw a random thing out there that I remember from childhood and Mandela effect. Like, let's say, like for instance, I just did the my baloney has a first name, it's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name, it's MEYER. But it's not, it's MAYER. But that song, does that jingle not stick in your head?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, it did.
And it's MAY. I'm telling you, and it's like I just want to try to think of something live right here on air, and something that says, Dilemma said, I'm not too much into conspiracy theories, but the Mandela effect shocked me when it happened to me, and it's the back of my mind daily. Yeah, I'll tell you, it'll be mine all the time now. So basically, I want to throw something out. I've always said,
I'm sorry, but that is a heck of a cover.
Why is mommy moaning? It's like, okay, here's it's not exactly a Mandela effect, but how in the frick have the Simpsons predicted so much shit to a T? Matt Groening is a time traveler.
Right.
And for those of you who've not looked into that, look into that shit. I mean, like to a T. Like even Trump going down the escalator like this, and it's freaky. And Pat McAfee did it on his show, and that was funnier than hell. But I'm trying to think of a slogan that we've grown up with, like Luke, I am your father. We've all done that.
Ricky, or was it Lucy? You have some explaining to do.
That one
never happened.
Really? So I want to think of something that we've never thought of yet. That's you've not even looked up. I want something that we've not looked up. Do it live raw here, right on. Oh, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. I've heard hundreds of times as a kid, and when they first heard he will come, I stopped dead in my tracks before knowing what me was and felt off. If you build it, they will come. You know, he's right. It's he will come.
Mm-hmm.
If you build it, he will come. But everybody thinks if you build it, they will come. In fact, everybody always says that. It's joking. If you build it, they will come.
Right.
But it is. If you build it, he will come. Meaning his dad.
I never paid attention to that.
I didn't either, but he's right. See, they're everywhere, dude.
There is no Jiffy peanut butter.
It's Jif.
Yes, but I remember Jiffy.
I do too. Is there Peter Pan peanut butter?
Yeah. Whiteout is not spelled with an H.
It's WITE?
Yeah, like it never has been.
Because the H has been whited out. Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, there's so much. I just want to think of one raw, and then I want to Google it. Like, think of a famous saying.
All right. Well, I got to throw this one out there just while you're thinking about it.
Okay.
Smokey the Bear or Smokey Bear?
I always grew up with Smokey the Bear.
It's never been Smokey the Bear.
Smokey Bear?
It's always been Smokey Bear.
Did you just look that up?
It actually just popped up on my thing. I was like, really? Because I don't remember it being Smokey Bear. I remember it being Smokey the Bear. Huh. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah. You remember Mr. Yuck? Mr. Yuck stickers?
Yeah, the big green thing you stick on.
Here you go. This is what I'm gonna do right now. It was green.
Mm-hmm.
And had a Mr. Yuck. I'm gonna see what it is. I remember it being green with a tongue sticking out and it had writing around it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Dude, I don't remember it that way.
Did you just find one?
A whole bunch of them. You remember looking like that?
I remember that.
I don't. I remember with this around it, but I don't remember that face.
No, I don't think that's
I'm gonna go
politically correct.
1980. I don't remember that as much. That's odd. Yeah, I want to know another famous thing. Like the Field of Dreams one was a very good one. Thank you, Dilemma, for that one. I'd never even thought about that. So we had we've got No, I'm Your Father. We've got Life Was Like a Box of Chocolates, which makes no sense. And I can see how that could be misinterpreted, honestly. Life was like a box of chocolates, if he does it like that. I said was. Life was like a box of chocolates, and never know what you're going to get. But the Luke, I'm Your Father, the Matrix one, and the Lion and the Lamb are crazy.
Is it we're going to need a bigger boat or you're going to need a bigger boat?
That was the other one. I've always thought was I've always seen it. We're going to need a bigger boat. Matter of fact, I watched Cop Out last night with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis, and he goes and interrogates the guy and just says all these famous movies from. I need to get that and just take all them lines. He says all these lines from the scene where he interrogates them, and he says we're going to need a bigger boat. And the funny part is he goes, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!" And Bruce Willis goes, "Never watch that." Wow, is it you're gonna need to do bigger boat? Wow.
As if he's not actually standing on the boat and
All right, famous line quotes from movies.
Febreze. How do you spell Febreze?
You say Febreze, I say Febreze. Is it Febreze?
Febreze.
I always say it's Febreze. I don't. There's no R in it to me.
There is an R. It's the actual spelling. What I remember is Febreeze, like Febreze, as in a breeze type thing. You know,
right.
There is no double E.
Okay, I never heard Febreze though.
Febreze, Febreze.
Okay. What in the frick is this? Life cereal, the whole Mikey likes it ending. Some say John Deere, some say it used to be John Deere. I'm with you. It used to be DEER. He says it's DERE. The whole Mikey likes it ending. I don't know.
He likes it. He really likes it.
Yeah, if it's me, he likes it. He really likes it, is what I remember. Play the Mikey Life cereal commercial.
Let me tell you a story of one of the first businesses that I launched. People always ask me, what's
no,
the
commercial? Yeah, shut up.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well.
Shut up.
Number 9.
Trying to skip ahead.
hates everything.
He won't eat it. He hates everything. So now Mikey's a kid who hated everything. I didn't grow up with Mikey being a kid who hated everything.
That's it, Mike. Yeah. He'll eat anything.
Yeah, he'll eat anything. So, this is what I remember. What's odd is down here.
What they're saying is he remembers being like, Mikey, he likes everything. And he likes it. He really likes whatever, and Mikey hates everything. And
I don't remember that.
I think that's actually before our time.
Blood, sweat, and tears has always been blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
What's this stuff?
This is the actual
Some
commercial.
cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
When you bring life home, don't tell the kids it's one of those nutritional cereals you've been trying to get them to eat. You're the only one who has to know.
That's crazy.
That's the.
That is crazy. I always thought it was like it. He really likes it.
In fact, there's now a ice cream thing called Mikey he likes it, or Mikey likes it.
Here's one that I didn't realize. I heard it earlier, but okay, may the force be with you. Used to be said by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original movies, but now it's said by Han Solo. Ooh, I've always heard this one. Hell hath no fury like woman scorned, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says heaven has no rage like love to hatred turned, nor to hell fury like a woman scorned. We'll shorten that one up. All right, here's the one I heard about earlier. You remember, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Well, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth is actually you can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have been guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? You little Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death was tragic, probably saved lives. That was a whole lot from that little thing. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you. Let's see.
Risky business.
Do you feel lucky, punk? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Risky business. Everybody thought he had shades on. Doesn't have shades on.
They also said he had a white t-shirt or a white dress shirt on. It was pink.
Yeah, it was pink. Everybody even dresses like that. I saw that one today. Panic at the Disco. Mandela brought that one up. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When they tweeted Panic at Disco, there was a part in that song. Thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. Had that lyric in the song that even they tweeted him. He tweeted back with a Mandela Effect. Mm-hmm. Man, that's a Berenstein thing right there. So Dilemma got that one right for me. All right. So, do you feel lucky, Dilemma. Punk? It's actually, you got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Well,
do you, punk? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Is Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Cup O noodles or cup noodles?
Cup of noodles.
There is no O. It's cup noodles.
Okay.
Like you're just gonna cup the noodles by the base.
I'm trying to find walk softly but carry a big stick. That was Roosevelt was actually speak softly and carry a big stick. Play it again, Sam. I've heard that one numerous times. Play it, Sam. Play it as it goes by is actually how it's supposed to be said. If you build it, they will come. As if you build it, he will come, which is what Dilemma said earlier. Oh, here's one. Remember, what was it? Tiny Tim, please, sir, may I have some more? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, please, sir, I want some more. Money is the root of all evil. It's actually, for the love of money is the root of all evil. Oh, I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, all right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. I've heard that in numerous times used. Houston, we have a problem. Famous line.
Right. Never actually said.
Houston, we've had a problem. I'm trying to go to
that was a big one that was a big one that came out a while back. It was like, the one line that everybody quotes was actually quoted wrong.
Yeah, what? Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
That's what I said.
It's actually explain that if you can. That not it's like that
you got some splaining to do.
One step worse, one step better than the Matrix, because at least it still says explain that. The Matrix, it was not even said at all. And I've watched that scene 30 times a day. I was like, I had to miss it. So then I go back and watch like the whole full from where he walks in to where they walk out. It is never said. And I know, what if I told you? I can hear Fishburne saying it. That's crazy. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I've heard that one. Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night is the actual thing. Oh, I've heard this one. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Is actually a journey of 400 miles begins beneath one's feet. Not even. That reminds me like they did in 5th grade, where we'd start a sentence at one side of the class and we'd try to repeat it to each other. And by the time it got to the end person, it was totally all whacked out from what it started to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. No problem. Let's see, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Sounds different now from how many remember it. Anyway, the community is a bit divided on that one. I watched I Love Lucy so much as a kid all the days. I heard that line many times. Lucy, yes, explaining to do, but it's saying that it never said that. See, us kids in the 80s and 90s, we grew up, we remember both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Remember life before video games and shit, and after. We were the group that watched technology. I remember when microwaves came out. We were like, holy shit, And
well, I know when they were affordable anyway, because I mean they came out in the 50s, but they were like these expensive pieces of what everybody had a microwave in the 80s. Like you got to that.
Oh, here's another one. I can't. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. What movie was that from?
Apocalypse Now.
Yes, it's called. You smell that? Do you smell that? Napalm, son. Nothing else in the world smells like that. I've heard I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I've heard that 100 times.
In fact, they made fun of it with Sheen and Charlie and Martin when in Hot Shots Part 2.
Yes.
Where they're passing.
Yep.
Like they both look, I loved you in Wall Street.
That's from Hamlet.
What one's from Hamlet?
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew
him
well.
well.
It's actually Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him Horatio.
See, that I was on the thing is like I knew him Horatio.
That's what I thought it was. I knew him Horatio.
Man of most infinite jest and most excellent fancy. He borne me on his back 1,000 times. Here hung those lips. I don't know. I guess I know not how oft.
How many times have you heard this? All that glitters is gold.
All that glitters is.
I've heard all that glitters is gold a number of times. It's actually all that glisters is not gold. Huh. This sounds like Jar Jar Binks. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. I never heard that one, but it sounds like Jar Jar.
It's more of a it's a Hamlet line. It's a Hamlet line. It's methinks the lady doth protest too much.
wow, there's so many of these that are on
and
there.
it's normally said when somebody like you're like, no, I didn't, no. Well, I think I think the lady doesn't protest too much.
Wow, it's just so funny how many of these there are, and no matter where you look, there's always something else.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks Dilemma for coming. Appreciate you being on. He's got to bump off here. Appreciate it. You were very, very informative in helping us do some of these. Anyway, going to keep it going. We are running on 1 hour 45 minutes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
my bladder's telling me that we're running on 1 hour and 45
I haven't
minutes.
had to break mine yet.
Well, you
All right, so
more practice.
Coming down to the whole thing about with the Mandela Effect and basically all the stuff that we see and we think we know. What to me it's something with the government.
See, I don't know. Like I said, there's so many, because getting into the sci-fi, like you think sci-fi is science fiction, but a lot of the science fiction has turned into science fact. Like cell phones and whatnot. They're now transporting atoms and stuff between locations, and they're moving to the point where they're trying to get more complex items and whatnot.
Here's one.
Is it a matter of science fiction that now we're getting into the science fact of all of this stuff happening, and now we're seeing the ramifications of this stuff coming to
to fruition?
Yeah, like with CERN doing their thing. The big joke is like, what do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? It doesn't matter, or that's irrelevant.
Yeah,
because once you have it, you have it.
Yeah,
it'll.
The thing with me about this effect is, I personally, honestly believe that somewhere down the line this is connected with that time travel. That's the whole reason it's popped up on my YouTube, because I've been watching so much time travel, and it's like
all those silly stuff, like people being, like video with talking on phones and like.
That Charlie Chaplin thing,
an iPhone and
Mike Tyson.
When we had flip phones, somebody was like,
had an iPhone. They had the two guys that were there. The one we talked about, was wearing hipster stuff. Like I said,
and a Wu-Tang shirt.
And then there's also instances of people bringing back prophecies from the future and stuff that, like, I remember that one. I'm actually curious to see if Trump gets reelected and World War III happens and so on and so forth. I wish I could get into Bitcoin now to see if that happens.
The funny thing about when you're talking about like the Trump doing whatever is, it falls back on the one where I was, they were talking about like they specifically made changes to prevent World War III from happening in 2012 or whatever,
with the nuclear
where like nuclear fallout was.
Yeah.
And it part of me giggles because that means that Trump was the choice to not bring about.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me of something all day. Have you seen a thing with the AI bots?
Oh, where they're talking about like coming over, like
taking over
waiting
the
for
world,
they take over the world, and
then Alexa or the two Google like
the
talking to each other. Oh man, that's creepy shit right there.
Skynet.
Right now.
Skynet. That's how you get. You want Skynet because that's how you get Skynet.
It's like the Jetsons. I don't need a robot housekeeper. That's why we have kids, right? Once again, Chris is going to go behind me because he's a girl. He has a bladder the size of a peanut, evidently. And appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate you very much. So, you guys tuned in right now. If you got anything you want to add to this, it's been a wonderful discussion. Basically, we've been talking about the Mandela Effect, which is something I just learned about today, and it is absolutely amazing. Also, we've talked about time travel. I am big on conspiracy theories, which MH370. I believe that's a conspiracy. I believe, of course, JFK is a conspiracy. 9/11 is a conspiracy. I have so many things I believe are conspiracies that's just that we had a whole show on that one time, and those are things are touchy subjects that you don't just go out to a bar or you go up to a person and talk about. But like with YouTube, this is our platform to discuss what we want to discuss, and if you don't think so and you don't like it, you don't have to sub, you don't have to watch, you don't have to do anything, and basically that's what it is. So that's why we're doing this discussion, because we were sitting here and it was so raw and so emotional that I was like, man, we need to do this live and not after we've already talked about it. So we grabbed the camera, got a computer, sitting out here having some brewskis, and we're talking about the Mandela Effect, which to me is just absolutely this new phenomenon that I want to study some more. And because I know for a fact that I remember things a certain way, and they're not that way anymore. There was actually a girl on YouTube that showed Chase Bank and the sign changing in front of her, like from blue to white, then it went to black and changed its address, like all kinds of weird stuff. I saw that today. But the Mandela Effect, basically, like in layman's terms, the Mandela Effect somehow is rewriting things that we remember. And
something is rewriting,
and yeah, something is rewriting things we remember, and it's not just a group of people; it's millions and millions, if not billions. I mean, it's people all around the world.
Well, you have the people who don't pay attention, and they're like, "No, it's always been that way." And then they're pulling out, like I said, anybody's like, "Oh, here's how to debunk it. Just grab an old thing and here, look, it's never been that way." That doesn't debunk it when the whole thing is something is changing it from the get-go. And people are remembering it the old way, but now it's different all through history.
We got an Alex on here. Welcome, Alex. He says it's not time travel. It's multiverse breaching at different times.
Is
that what you were saying earlier?
Well, that's kind of along the CERN lines where, like bleeding into the multiverse and like jumping over, where the one that I was more leaning towards
was like they're overlapping, and this guy changes this, and then this changes this, but the way we remember it was before, and then this guy changed it to now. So it's like if you did a timeline, we remember it up to here, but the people that were never there before remember it the way it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. The hell is that?
Your fan.
It's my ghost.
He's going crazy.
He's going nuts. I'm just amazed at how many examples there are about.
You said that one page had like 250, but it didn't show up.
I would love to
because it was changing. Because you got it in the middle of changing.
Probably. You're probably right. I'm gonna try this.
Now it says 375.
Yeah, right.
No, the one instance.
Famous. Let's see. Famous quotes from movies. Mandela Effect. And let's see. I've already done this one, I think. Yeah, I've already done this one. 29 examples that are guaranteed to give you the chills. So I had to wait for it to come through. All right, so
loading.
September 10th. Apparently, a lot of people remember the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, as happening the day before on September 10th. This one hasn't affected me at all, but then again, I was 4 years old when it happened. I have not heard that one.
I have not heard
that at all. I would like to look into that. Let's see.
I remember where I was at.
Quantum timelines are different in the multiverse, Chris. Alex says. You're the expert on that kind of stuff.
Well, I've read on it, not an expert.
All right, here's Berenstain Bears, which we've already talked about. Excuse me. Sex in the City is actually Sex and the City. We've talked about Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. The Island West of Australia. Wait a minute. Well, that island east of Australia?
No, you got Papua New Guinea and you got New Zealand.
I thought Papua New Guinea was east of Australia. We looked at.
No, it's west. No. Yeah, it's east of New Guinea. It's east of Australia.
Apparently, too many people remember an island existing to the west of Australia that no longer appears on a map.
Oh, really?
Past or present. The weirdest part is, in particular, the Mandela Effect is that in the 90s movie Dazed and Confused, the landmass in question is actually shown on a classroom globe at one point. All right, so I'm going to pull up Google Maps right now. Google Maps. I wish I could do that. There's got to be a way I can share my screen with you people.
There is, but it requires software.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so we're gonna zoom out. We're gonna get rid of your stupid ass. We're gonna zoom out. Okay, now, wow, there is no island west of Australia. Papua New Guinea is north. New Zealand is southeast.
And that's what's on Dazed and Confused, the globe on Dazed and Confused.
Wow, holy shit. That's a big ass island.
Yeah, no, like I was thinking it was like some little extra thing, but no, it's like how much half the size of right. Like it's go check that out.
Like basically that ironically is where MH370 supposedly crashed. Seriously. Overlap that with MH370's crash site. I'm telling you, that's where. Is that not right there, Chris? Right here? Is that island right here?
It looks like it's right about here.
And the arc where they're looking runs right here. That's a little peculiar. Let's get a satellite view. Wow, that is crazy. Huh. Man, I had never heard that one before. That is nuts, dude. It's the Great Wall of India. Okay, so let's see. Chartreuse. When you hear the name of this color, what comes to mind? I always think reddish, pinkish. Is that what you think of?
Something like that.
When really it's weird, puke green color. Okay.
Here's another one.
Here's Febreze. You said it was. I will swear, although some will swear the fresher spelled Febreeze is actually Febreze. Okay, Curious George's Tale. We've already talked about that.
Which, I mean, I remember him having a tail, but also he is a chimp which doesn't have a tail, so it would make sense for him not to have one.
I've never seen this. The Tiananmen Square Tank Man. Many people remember a grotesque internet video of a tank running over a man in Tiananmen Square. Now, if you watch the video, you see the man is not hit by the tank at all, but instead crawls on top and in front of the tank before being peacefully moved off to the side.
No, I remember because I actually got that question right in a geography bowl.
Really?
Yeah, like I actually won prizes and went into like the state level of a geography bowl.
Here's the
based on that question.
Here's the Oscar Mayer one I already said. Here's the C-3PO one I actually said. Actually, it's his lower left leg. They said it's right leg. What I saw on TV was his left leg. Lives like what we talked about. Skechers.
There's no T.
Nope, there's not.
Some people remember sketch.
51 states. I don't totally understand this one. It's always been made excessively clear that there are 50 states in the United States. However, I heard a huge example of the Mandela Effect that a lot of people apparently think that there are 49, 51, or even 52 states in the nation. Like, are you counting Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico and Guam.
Okay, where are they getting 49?
Are they not counting Hawaii or Alaska?
Are they counting Washington, D.C.? Because it's technically its own district. It's not.
It's a district. It's not a state. They might be. D.C. doesn't get a vote for presidential elections.
Here you go. Jiffy peanut butter. You're right. It's called Jif. If you build it, they will come. We already talked about that. The lion will lie down with the lamb. We spoke about that.
That's
Fruit
crazy.
Loops. Our guest, Definite Dilemma, spoke about that. Excuse me. Beer went down the wrong throat. Wrong pipe. What do you want to call it? The Mona Lisa. We were talking about that. Interview with a Vampire, the popular movie starring Brad Pitt, is actually called Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
Mongolia is way larger in size on maps now than anyone ever remembers it being. This includes maps from the past as well. Didn't know that. Sandy Island, New Caledonia. Off the coast of France is actually documented on many old maps, but the land itself seems to have simply disappeared, along with anyone claiming to be there.
Actually been there.
Yeah.
There's another island that's just the same way. There's a, it actually is picked up on satellite maps for the longest time, like when they were doing whatever, and then like they went back and like ships were going across it where it was found. So
we're going to need a bigger boat. If you watch Jaws, Josh say you're going to need a bigger boat, not we're.
Like he's going to teleport off the ship.
Yeah. Luke, I am your father. Of course, as we all know now, is no, I am your father. The man from Taured, Taured, T-A-U-R-A-D, Taured. This last one gives me the heebie-jeebies. No, seriously, this is some Twilight Zone level stuff. In the 1950s, there was a man that landed in Tokyo International Airport claiming he was from a non-existent country of Taured. I actually saw a Twilight Zone of this, actually. The freaky part was that he had all of the correct paperwork, passport, driver's license, the whole deal, and it was all official paperwork from the country of Taured. The border police honestly had no idea what to do with this man from the country that didn't exist, so they had him stay in a hotel that night under police supervision. The man reportedly disappeared the next morning to the country of Taured and has not been heard from since. I actually saw a Twilight Zone episode that happened. A guy landed in the airport, and it was along the same thing.
That's actually kind of creepy. Yeah. No, the thing about it though is like if it's along those lines of turn around and like you travel a lot. Imagine going on vacation and landing in the place that you were going to vacation at, and they're like, "What do you mean? That place doesn't exist."
Sorry, I didn't listen to the voice from my son there.
So, how would you feel? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I literally.
I mean,
saw
I
this episode on Twilight Zone, and it was in the 50s. They must have got this from the Twilight Zone. I watched it. He landed in this like, for lack of a better term, a Red Baron type plane, and said he was from that. That was one that was crazy. Man without a country. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's some second level shit right there.
It's actually published.
There's no North Pole. Where's Santa's Village? Yeah, ain't that? It was at Hills when I was a kid. I thought that's where Santa's Village was.
In fact, there's a book that was just written about it, like in 2015.
The Man from Taured by Brian W. Laspa. Kind of like Alaska, but with a P. That's what I'm seeing.
Alaska again.
Man, it's just so much crazy. I can't get over how many things that like we knew every day. And then, man, that island west of Australia that's on that globe in Dazed and Confused. Not only being there, being the actual supposed crash site of MH370, which is not where MH370 is at. It is in Diego Garcia in the Maldives. Sorry, guys, but you're looking in the wrong spot. That's why you spent millions of dollars, because you're searching in the wrong damn spot. Wow. I'm just looking all over this globe, and I'm just like, I mean, that thing was seriously, like you said, it was half the size of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
Oh no, I saw another map where it had New Zealand on the northwest corner of Australia instead of the southeast.
Here's one that I heard earlier. Sicily, but I've not looked into it yet. Mandela Effect. What was have you heard this one?
Mm-mm. It's always been at the boot. It's always been the thing that kicked, I don't know if they changed it.
Okay, it says, let me see here. Found a map residue of Sicily not being close to Italy. The map just roughly shows the shape of Europe and its countries. There are even whole islands that a map just doesn't show between Latvia and Sweden. The map just shows the sea, where actually a few islands of coastal Poland is drawn a lot of flatter. Okay, well, I heard this earlier about Sicily, and here's an image. Okay, right here to the east or west are two islands.
Sicily and I want to say Thessaly, but I'm not sure that Thessaly is the right.
Well, I'm on the actual.
I can't remember. It's either Sicily and Thessaly, but I'm not sure Thessaly is the right answer.
Well, look at this. Look at this. Hold up. Okay, look. See how far away this is?
Or Sardinia.
Okay, shit.
Non più dry.
See how far away that is? Look at Google Earth. It touches. That's crazy.
What was the name of the other one?
That's
the other island.
That's Sicily. This is Sardinia and Corse, which is where that ship was turned sideways. All right, so if you Google Sicily Mandela Effect, you will find Sicily is not even in the spot where it says it is. It shows it being not even near the actual boot of Italy.
That's what I'm saying. Like I remember, like it would being like at the boot, like it was like the boot kicking Sicily.
Yeah. That's what it shows there. But
if you look at
this
other maps,
one does not show that. This is the region FM memory. Shows it down there. God, there's so many of them. It's like I think we're only scratching the surface, you know.
Like, well, map people get it wrong. It depends on like what maps you're going by. Now, satellite maps are totally different because they're actually accurate. Before you had people just floating around going, it's right here.
Yeah, it looks good. That looks okay to me. I still am baffled by the.
There's an entire town that was created as a gimmick by McNally or whatever.
Rand McNally?
Yeah, like he was like when they did their thing, they added a town that didn't exist to the map just to see if anybody was stealing their maps. And it come about that after so many maps came out, there came a town on some other people's maps that they'd already done. So they took them to court. Well, what had happened is somebody who had actually seen the map and said, I'm going to go there, went to that town, there's nothing there. They opened a store or whatever and named it after that town, and that's what got on other people's maps. So they got thrown out because they created the thing as a way to prove that somebody was copying their maps, but somebody took it as, well, there's supposed to be a town here, so I'm just going to go open a general store. And all the others picked up and could copy their maps because there was an actual place, a post office and a general store to that town in New York.
Right now.
So like map people like would do silly stuff to make sure that nobody's like copying their stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to find old globes here. See if we can debunk this Australia thing. Yeah, so on that one, I'd like to have that globe from Dazed and Confused. You already looked that up, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do old map of the Indian Ocean. And what did it say that? Did it say what the name of that place was?
Which one?
The one that's supposedly west of Australia.
No, it didn't say. It was just said it was. You just showed it as an island or a big chunk of land.
All right, so I've got an old map of the Indian Ocean up here. Wow. There is nothing on there. It is like Dazed and Confused got a hold of something. Unless it floated away. Like you said, that map is, or that the island was half the size of Australia.
Yeah. Some people say it was the they were turning it really fast, or they were turning it, and what you saw was the legend of the map or of the globe.
Makes sense.
Oh, and then other people say that it was the terrain or the terrain features of the because there in that area there is a actual a raised area on the ocean floor.
Yeah. Well,
but that's still weird.
Those are weird things that, I mean, you can kind of debunk, but like the things.
Then again, are you debunking them or are you just going along with what you remember?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the hard part about debunking the Mandela effect is like you can turn around and say, no, I remember it being this way all the time. Well, that's great, but they don't.
Right.
You have a lot of people who don't, and you can turn around and say, well, but it's been here and yada yada yada. Look, here's some proof. But if the whole it's almost the perfect conspiracy in the sense of like, even in the face of overwhelming whatever, it's like, well, somebody went back in time and changed it.
Yeah.
And I'm remembering or it was that way in a different universe, or it, like something happened. This is the way I grew up, and it just overnight was something different.
I want to try to think of something that we have not talked about that we can raw type in to Google and see if there's a Mandela effect. Like some.
Well, see, that's the thing is like until somebody points it out to you and go, no, this is how it is. You don't even know it's a Mandela effect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just thinking of like slogans or stuff like that as a kid.
Because I was talking about like when the girl passed away, whatever. Like I didn't even. I was like, I wonder what happened to her. Oh, she died in a car accident. When? And then I was like, no, I remember her surviving that one and going on and living in this other house and doing this other thing and doing fireworks.
Yeah, they're nothing better than people who have fireworks after the 4th, especially when it gets dark. Oh, it's awesome.
So, but it's just one of those things. It's just like you can't explain it,
right?
It's like you can't be explained away because people remember it for a reason.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to figure out something that I remember as a kid, like you did. You always remember Jiffy. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that I remember as a kid that I can type in and see what it was. It's like Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, like for instance, we just had that. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Well, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Like, what is a line from a movie that we remember? How we remember it? We could say it right now and then type it in and see if it's right. And I'm trying to think of a famous movie that, frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn.
I think that was right.
All right, let's try it. Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. Huh. Nope.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Perfect example.
What does it say?
That's what we both thought, right? Even here on YouTube, it says Frankly Scarlet. It's frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. We just pulled that one out of thin air, did we not?
Yeah.
You even said before that, you go, that's the way I remember it.
You're gonna double check?
Yeah. I've even heard people say that.
Uh-huh. Frankly, Scarlet,
I don't give a damn.
You go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
All right, if you are watching this, Grant, you're not watching it live. But if you're watching this and you thought that was what it said, please put it in a comment or anything we've said. Because
if you have one, comment. We'll talk about it later.
We both literally just live right there. Both said, "Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn." We both thought that. Well, I googled it. Even here it says, "Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn."
Wadsworth, don't hate me for trying to shoot
From
you.
Clue.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
Or they got it right, evidently. I don't know.
Or, yeah, you know.
The Mandela Effect. Now I gotta do this. Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn.
According to Wikipedia, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn is a line from the 1939 film Gone with the Wind starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh.
Here's from Clue, the movie Clue.
You don't get a commercial.
Wadsworth, don't hate me for trying to shoot you.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn.
Perfect example. That's just like The Mask. You love me. You really, really love me. That just blew my mind. We did that out of nowhere. So now I gotta do another one. All right.
You do?
Wow. I just pulled that one out of thin air. I did not think it would come up. I really didn't. Let's do another one.
Movie quotes.
I mean, you know what it is? It's a lot of it is movies.
I mean, well, some of it's movies. And there's a lot of branding. There's a lot of.
But like those iconic things, like we just pulled out live right here. I said, frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn, and you go, that's how I remember it. I looked it up and it was wrong. That's freaking creepy. That's Mandela Effect right there. Wow. All right, so we got to figure out another one because that's way too cool. All right, so if we got. I'm trying to think of, you got to think of something that's actually classic. It's like, like Frankly, Scarlet, that's a classic movie.
Well, you already did. Play it again, Sam.
And I already did. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Right.
That was wrong. People remember. What else would they remember? We've already did Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat. We've already did Luke, I'm Not Your Father. Wow, it's crazy. Like to think everything. It's almost everything has a Mandela Effect.
Almost, yes.
That one blew me away. You and I both were in agreement. It was that. Like I keep for some reason wanting to go back to all right.
That I know was actually a line.
Yeah, he actually got it from I think it was a Led Zeppelin song he was listening to. He talked about it, but we did find in Days Confused there's an island west of Australia. What else is there? Yeah, there's so many. Come on, you're a movie dude.
Yeah, but there's so many quotes that rattle through my head that I know that they're there because I ended up like copying and pasting them and doing whatever. So,
but that was funny. Was because that was a perfect example of what I just did in the mask with the Sally Fields. I said, "Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn," and that's what we all thought. And it was, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." But in Clue, when they redid it, he said, "Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn." That is crazy. And that was totally pulled out of the air. I might have to go back to that and watch that. That's crazy.
I'm trying to think. It's like I'm trying to like come up with other lines that.
But they got to be like one
like normal, like yeah, it's just something.
It can't be like long. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I feel the need for speed. That was the on Top Gun, right?
Yep.
Okay, that one's right. So that one is not a Mandela Effect yet. Until someone comes and changes it. What about there's gotta be an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He's got so many one-liners.
Did you happen to see that?
What is it? What? For hot dog water?
Yeah, basically he took a bottle of water, stuck a hot dog in it, like poured the hot dog water, whatever, and sealed it all up, and spent like it convinced people to pay $37 for hot dog water.
Why?
I don't know.
First of all,
that's the weird crap.
Sound good.
Yeah,
that had to be like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, right.
Dude,
but that's the weird stuff. Like I'm over here going movie quotes, trying to come up with something that's like that doesn't sound right to me or whatever. It's like, okay, well, let's go through this and hot dog water.
Hot dog water. Hot dog water is famously sold for $37.99. Dude, that don't even sound good. Wow.
It's literally a bottle of water with a hot dog in it. My favorite line out of that was Fred Durst bought a case.
All right, let's see. Ask not what you can do for your country.
That was a speech. Of course, nowadays it's not.
How do you remember it?
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, nowadays it's not ask what you can do for your country; it's what your country can do for you.
Yeah.
But I'm just old and bitter, I guess.
I just can't get over some of these. Like, they're crazy. The Mandela Effect, know your meme. I'll bet you ain't the one from the Matrix is on there. Oh, it's videos. So I don't want to do videos because I don't have any sound coming out.
Oh, and that's the problem. Like a lot of people have gone on and did videos of like, here's what we remember. Here's what here's what everybody else does.
I'm trying to mix up my childhood like you did, Jiffy.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Nelson Mandela's death is on here. Like you said, they said he died in 1991, and then he actually died in what the hell? I know it said he died in 91. Then this says He was president from 94 to 1999 and died in 2013. So whoever authored that book is really, really crazy. Billy Graham's death, that was recent.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Graham, a popular American Christian evangelist, is alive as of December 16th. Yet many people, including Fiona Broom, remember Graham's funeral on TV. Some people even remember the funeral in details, with Bill Clinton speaking words in Graham's honor. Henry VIII portrait.
Oh yeah, where he's supposedly eating a drumstick or a chicken leg or whatever. He's not.
I don't see
or a turkey leg. Yeah, like
his hands are down here.
Right, but there was one where he was supposedly like eating it that never existed.
The portrait was painted by in circa 1540. As you can see in the picture, there's nothing in the king's right hand, but many people swear the king was holding a turkey leg. There is too something in his right hand. It looks like the sheath to his sword. Yeah, look at that. Tell me that's not in his right hand.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking about like one of those big turkey leg things.
Yeah, but this says there is nothing. It's bull crap. That looks like the sheath to this or something. He's definitely holding something.
Yeah, that's
okay. Here's the number of the U.S. states. This is what I want to know. The Mandela Effect is a bit surprising. The United States of America is a federal republic consisting of 50 states, right? So why do many people recall the United States including 51, even 52 states? All right, somebody answer that for me then. I want to know. Are you counting Puerto Rico?
And Guam?
Yeah, but it says it doesn't say why, how, when, who, or where. It just says yeah. Okay, let's see here. The canonization of Mother Teresa. Renowned Roman Catholic nun and a missionary and one of the most popular and influential people of the past decade, Mother Teresa was canonized on the 4th of September 2016, 19 years after her death. Nevertheless, some people recall her being canonized in the 90s when she was still alive. Some specifically reference Pope John Paul II as the Pope who approved the canonization. What's that anyway?
What, canonization?
Yeah.
She's a saint.
Here's We Are the Champion lyrics. Yeah. And that's the one we proved earlier. Explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger. I've not heard this one. The second orbiter of NASA's space shuttle program, the Space Shuttle Challenger, exploded on January 28, 1986. I remember that. Resulting in the death of all 7 crew members. However, many people recall it exploding earlier. Most of them are convinced the accident actually happened in 1984. Huh.
No, well, see, I remember it happening in class. So
yeah, I remember it too, and I was in 3rd grade.
So
it would have been 86.
Yeah,
because I would have been.
Because we were sitting there in class watching it go up, and then like it blew up. And the sad thing is they were alive as it came streaming down, like because the crew compartment actually, so like.
And then here's your Jiffy argument. That's gonna be your one. No, damn it, it's Jiffy. And let's see, Curious George's tell he didn't have one. Darth Vader's phrase, we've all done that. C-3PO's leg, we've done that. The Lindbergh baby.
Some people actually remember it where the child was never found.
In one of the most famous and publicly watched cases of kidnapping that have ever happened in the U.S., Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., a 20-month-old toddler, was found dead on May 12, 1932. Some people, however, remember the kid was actually never found. There are also several alternative memories of them spelling the name, as some recall it, as Lindbergh with an H, and then Lindbergh just like it sounds. Tank Man.
That's the Tiananmen Square thing where
Yeah.
some people remember him getting run over and some people don't.
Yeah, that's odd.
Some people remember Patrick Swayze recovering from pancreatic cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio's Oscar. It was long awaited historical moment when Leonardo DiCaprio finally won his first Oscar in February of 2016. However, some people clearly recall the ceremony where DiCaprio won the Oscar happening several years earlier. I do not remember that. Yep, Patrick Swayze's recovery. Right here it is.
I don't remember him winning an Oscar, but that's okay.
Oh, you don't?
No.
He won it for that movie he did. He didn't hardly speak in it. And
The
he
Revenant?
got mauled by a bear.
The Revenant?
Yeah.
Because I remember the joke of that, like, when he wins an Oscar,
Sri Lanka location frequently occurs to geography as people remember islands, land masses, and countries in alternate locations. As one of the most common alternate memories is related to Sri Lanka. A lot of people remember this island being located south of India, not southeast, as the map shows. Do you know that?
I read that somewhere, but I don't.
I did not know that. But I want to check this one out.
Which one?
The Oscar Mayer.
The Oscar Mayer?
Yeah.
Not the
Oscar Mayer theme song.
Not that.
My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R.
Dude, I remember saying M-E-Y-E-R. No way. We just talked about that. All right, now I'm pissed.
Or
now it's getting personal.
Yeah, there's a Mandela effect about Martin Luther King Jr. about him being. People remember him being killed by a handgun or a bomb. There's two different.
Yeah, Pikachu's tail, which I was never a Pokemon guy. There's a thing about that.
Whether it had a black tip or not.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Snow White's queen phrase. We've touched on that. Martin Luther King's death. You're like right before me. Are you on the same page?
Probably. Well, no. Now I'm on.
The official version describing the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. says he was shot and killed by a sniper, James Earl Ray, on April 4th, 1968, at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. The gun was a Remington Game Master rifle owned and fired by Ray. Nevertheless, many people remember MLK being killed with another weapon, mostly a handgun or a bomb. Disney World. Some people remember entering the Magic Kingdom through the castle. Another alternate memory is that the castle was much closer to the end of Main Street than it really is. I've never heard that one. Neil Armstrong's death. One of the world's most important astronauts and the first person to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, died August 5th, 2012 in Cincinnati. But there's a common belief among his fans that he died 1 year later in 2013. I wish it would give why they think this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. I mean, sometimes people just remember like, oh, no, it was 2013 or 2012. It's like, no, it was this date.
Yeah. So, we've done the Mandela Effect. I think we've covered it. And probably there's probably more out there than we know of.
Flintstones or Flintstones?
It'd be the Flintstones because that's the old that goes along with the Flintstones. All right, now I'm pissed. I'm opening up. I actually have that on Facebook game and here. But that don't make no sense. Flint makes sense to make fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense. Oh, I'm getting aggravated. I start punching people in the face. All right, so I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna hit this. We have an actual game. It's a Flintstones. There it is, right there with a T. Flintstones. Look on the video game. Yeah, they're wrong. Dude. Flint just makes sense. Am I wrong?
Apparently, people.
The Flintstones.
Here is some information about the Flintstones. The Flintstones were the modern Stone Age family.
Really?
Apparently, some people remember with the T, some people remember without the T.
Everything on here is with the T, but you showed me without it.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, everyone I see is with the T, but I didn't type in Mandela Effect either.
E.T. phone home.
Yeah, that's a classic line.
Google it.
Google it. E.T. phone home.
Yep.
That is exactly how I remember it. It even comes up in Google as E.T. phone home. All right, here we go. E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
If you've ever needed
a commercial.
Up to 40% off top brands like this Whirlpool laundry pair. The Home Depot. More safe, more doing.
Oh. Phone? He said phone? He said phone? Can't you understand English? He said phone. Oh. You're right. That's E.T.'s home. E.T. home phone.
Home phone.
Phone home.
She said phone home.
Yep, but everybody remembers E.T. saying
E.T. phone home.
that.
What's the code?
Whoa. Mind blown. My mind was blown when I did Frankly Scarlet, I Don't Give a Damn. All right, if you guys are still with us, which doesn't look like you are, but if you're watching this on a record, I hope you guys are still with us. Wow. E.T. never said phone home. And Forrest Gump's quote was wrong. All right, so I'm going to hit this up.
Which one is correct?
The Tunes. T-O-N-S.
Nope.
It's bullshit.
Looney Tunes is Looney, T-U-N-E-S.
Oh, I guess it was set to... It was set to Tunes. You're right. Wow. That's crazy on the ET phone home, because that is that's what we were looking for earlier. Something that everybody says. Okay, I'm gonna look. Biggest, I think it's spelled right. Biggest Mandela. Yeah, cup of noodles. I know. I remember that one. But
yeah.
It wasn't. It was cup noodles, right?
Cup noodles. Like why? What if the O never existed? I am still trying to figure out who gave the Scarecrow a gun.
Me too. The biggest Mandela effect ever. The biggest Mandela effect ever. I don't know what this is from.
Hey, YouTubers, how you doing today?
Oh.
Must have heard of the Mandela Effect. Probably wouldn't have clicked on movies. Director's cut.
I don't want to see that. Biggest Mandela Effect of 2018.
Oh, Moonraker.
That movie?
Yeah, with the James Bond movie.
Oh yeah.
With Jaws.
Yeah. The braces on the girl.
Yes.
They even had a commercial after that with him, and the girl had braces at the cash register.
Mhm.
But if you look at the scene, she has no braces. He does. He's
Well,
got
he
like a
has
silver plate.
Well, he's got the metal jaws or whatever.
But she has no braces in it.
Right, but that was
it has him doing a credit card commercial, and the girl in there, the cashier, smiles, and she's got braces in it.
You're right. But people remember that the reason that the Jaws, the character, and her fell on
because of their teeth.
Because of the teeth.
But if you look at it, it's not there. Yeah, these are fucked up. Excuse my language, but they are. Yeah, fucked up. Okay. What was one I saw earlier I want to bring up to you? All right, we've seen all these. We've seen all these. The Chick-fil-A one still blows my mind. Kit Kat, Sinbad. That one's funny. That doesn't even exist. Jif. Fruit Loops, there it is right there. It's always been Fruit Loops because they've always had the thing. That's the way I remember it. I never remember it actually spelled
fruit.
Fruit.
I remember.
Oh, it's a fruit.
I remember fruit.
And the Flintstones. I remember. Looney Tunes, you're right on that one. Febreze, there's that other one up there. Skechers has no T. E.T. Phone Home, we just brought up. We must be on the same one. Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear. Harry Houdini's death.
People remember him dying in an escape versus being punched in the thing and having a ruptured appendix.
Okay, here's one for you. Is it Rubik's with an X or IKS? Rubik's Cube.
I remember IKS.
I remember X. It is actually a IKS from the inventor's name, Rubik. And okay, Sex City done, Cup Noodles done, Whiteout you already talked about, JFK assassination we talked about. And that's it for that. Damn it. This is getting crazy, y'all. Shed a little light on situation.
It's starting to get dark out.
Yeah. All right. So we got tons and tons of crazy shit, right? We've done them live right here. I wish we had a way to talk to the people and say, hey, how do you remember this? So if you are watching this on the replay, leave comments in the comment section and we can answer them back. We did Frankie Scarlett, E.T. Phone Home. Trying to think of some famous quotes.
Apparently, the old A-Team thing is a Mandela effect.
Really?
Yeah.
The theme? The actual instruments?
Murdoch. What was he called?
Which one was Murdoch?
The crazy one.
Shit, I never watched 18 much. I don't remember.
People remember him as Mad Dog Murdoch.
Okay.
Apparently, other people remember him as Howling Mad Murdoch.
Okay.
So much so that they have split the fandom between Howling Mad, which I remember Howling Mad Murdoch, and Mad Dog Murdoch.
Okay. I had not heard that one. I really want to know. Is Atlantis one? I thought my name was Mad Dog Murdoch. I want to get on that line that had 250 of them.
I was on that one, whatever I sprung through, and there's they don't really go into detail because half the stuff is broken. Like, there's something with Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, everywhere I go, it has the same ones. Okay. Yeah, we've already done this. Looking at your father, Skechers, Chick-fil-A. Man, I want to drive by a Chick-fil-A. I might Google Earth a Chick-fil-A just to look at their damn sign. You know what I'm saying? Did you know that Indiana's national bug is a lightning bug now? You can't kill them.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that because
I found out the other day. All right, so I'm going to Google Map. I know where a Chick-fil-A is, but I can Google Map. I don't want Google.com. I want Google Maps. Okay, so we're going to Google Maps. No maps, you turd, Ferguson. Yeah, buddy. Google Maps. Okay, here's one for you. Am I just imagining this, or when we had school pizza back in the day, is it not different now than it was back when we had it?
Yeah.
That's what I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying it's the same. No, it's not. The school pizza we had back when we was in school is not the same as the ones you get now.
No, it's not what we served. We actually said that while we were serving it at Studio Cafe. Like, this isn't the same.
This isn't done. No. And I think that's a Mandela effect.
People remember Kirk Douglas dying in the 90s?
Really?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
Mm-hmm. And then we're like really shocked to find out that he was 99 years old.
I believe that. All right, here's a Chick-fil-A. Yep, it's spelled C-H-I-K. Let's see what it is on the actual thing. I wish my wife was here so I could just ask her these right in front of everybody. Everybody.
Well, she's
Amish,
so
know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go up here. Okay, here we go. All right, screw this. I'm just gonna Google Chick-fil-A. And go to their webpage. Yep. I don't remember ever having a K. I don't ever remember having a K. Do you?
No.
Dude, there's no way. There's got to be an image somewhere, one without the K. Like I said many times, wish I could share this screen with you guys. And there has to be a way to do it. We're going to figure it out. Dude, I swear every one of these is the same. And like they even spelled chicken, C-H-I-K, which I remember that, but they didn't have a C in it.
Which one do you remember? Target.
The very first one with just one dot. I wish we need to share this with you guys because now the bugs are getting on my screen. Now I got to shoot somebody. All right, so we have talked about the Mandela Effect for almost 3 hours now. And frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn, which is wrong. But I wanted to switch gears here a little bit and talk about something else. Let's talk about conspiracy theories. Chris.
Yes.
What is your favorite conspiracy theory?
God, there's so many. Like I've been learning about more and more as the thing goes on. Half of them have to do with Alex Jones. So like that's
Alex Jones.
Yeah, you not heard of Alex Jones? Oh, that's a rabbit hole you need to go down.
Okay. All right. How about this? Let's go this way. What do you think about? Okay. Oh, you just told us you saw a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where, when? Tell me all about it.
To preface this, do you remember or did you hear about the event that happened in 77 here in LA?
Yeah, you and I talked about it on our HP show back when we had Rebel.
Well, I did some digging into
But it was called something different.
The Whistling Jack.
Yeah. So I remember that much.
Well, there was a big thing like in 77 where like a woman actually called the state police because she was stopped in the road at the dump. A whole lot of people seen it on our town's west side. It was like a big thing. There's several police officers who were on duty at the time who are still alive and whatnot, and we're trying to track them down. But along that stretch of road, after I was taking my son to work, he went to work at 11 or whatever, so I dropped him off, and so
now where were you going?
Heading from Elwood to Alexandria on P Street, the same direction that the lady was going in 77.
Okay, so you're on P Street, like by Arestus,
Mhm.
down there in the
just
lower
past
part,
just past Arestus Road.
Okay,
heading towards the dump. That little bridge that's right there.
Yeah.
And
so you saw this Bigfoot not 2-3 miles from my house.
Right.
All right.
And as I'm sitting there, I'm driving, and then I'm not really paying attention. I'm just bebopping down the road, and there's this big hairy thing sitting next to the
big hairy thing. That's you.
Well, but this big hairy thing standing next to the bridge, this little bridge embankment thing, over just a little creek. And I'm thinking it can't be that, it's not that high. It's just not very, very, very deep there. And I but it's this big thing. So and it catches my attention. Like, I don't think we have bears. So I stopped, backed up, and watched this hairy thing move into the woods along the creek right there, right before the dump, between Arestus Road and the dump. And I call up and I was like, "Hey, do we have bears in Indiana?" And I got the response of, "There's one in northern Indiana, and there's one in southern Indiana, but there's none around here." I was like, "Well, maybe it was like a really big raccoon or something. Like it can't be that. So I was told, well, just come pick me up. I got flashlights. We'll go check it out." So I came back into town, grabbed my friend, grabbed the flashlights, drove back out, went around the block, looked around, parked right next to where I saw this, got out, and it was like a 10-foot drop.
So this thing had to be over 10 foot tall for you to be able to see it.
Yes. For where I saw the head of it, it had to be at least 10 feet tall.
Right. Okay.
Which made me go, I don't want to be here no more. Because I was thinking like, oh, no, there's something standing here. And I was like, oh, no, it can't be that far down. It maybe it's like 3 foot. So you're looking at something that, you're going from maybe a tall raccoon.
I'm going to do something live right here with the Mandela Effect.
Okay.
I'm going to call my friends, and I'm going to tell her what I'm doing, and then I'm going to ask her these questions.
Okay. Well, let's see if she remembers them.
And we'll put her on speakerphone, and we'll see, because we already went through all the answers. Hey, what's up? I'm on air, live right now on YouTube, and we are doing stuff called the Mandela Effect, and I want to ask you some questions live on air. All right, I'm putting you on speakerphone, okay? All right, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you some phrases that you remember from your childhood or from now, and you tell me how you remember them. Okay?
Okay.
The chocolate line from Forrest Gump, what does he say while he's sitting on the bench?
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Okay. In Jaws, when is it Chief Brody?
Brody, yes.
Backs up and says something about his boat, what does he say that they're going to need?
Don't remember.
Okay, most people remember it as we're going to need a bigger boat. What was the other one, Chris? What is it? Snow White. When the witch in the castle talks to the mirror, what does she say?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Who's
the fairest of them all?
Okay. Shit, Chris, I should have had these up. I'm gonna bring them back up.
Magic.
Do you know what the Mandela Effect is, by the way?
No, I don't.
Okay, this is something that people remember certain things and has been altered, and we all remember them. Millions and millions of people all remember them the same way, but when you look it up, it's not. Okay.
Gotcha.
Do you remember the Bears? Was it the Berenstein or the Berenstain Bears?
The bands, yeah.
What were they?
I mean, I remember the books.
What were they?
What do you mean? What were they?
What were they called?
What were they called?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
What were the Bears called?
The Berenstain Bears?
Okay, the Berenstain Bears. Okay. Next. Come on. Next page. Oh, what famous quote when Luke Skywalker, what did Darth Vader say to Luke Skywalker when he cut off his hand, he was hanging on the thing getting ready to die? What did he say to Luke?
Ooh, I know that.
What?
That's one nobody ever gets right.
What did he say?
I think he said, I am your father. Everyone says it's Luke, I am your father, but I'm not sure he said that.
Yeah, okay. At the end of We Are the Champions, what's the last line of We Are the Champions?
I don't know.
Like when it says, We are the champions. Dun, dun, dun.
Of the world?
Okay. Next. Did you ever watch that HBO series with the sex thing with the
Sex in the City?
What was it called?
Sex in the City?
Sex in the City? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Sex in the City.
Sex in the City. Okay.
No, I didn't actually ever watch it.
But that's what you think it was called, Sex in the City? IN?
Yeah.
Okay. Jif peanut butter. Was it Jiffy or Jif?
Jif.
Okay.
Was there a Jiffy?
Was there ever a Jiffy peanut butter?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Are you familiar with Curious George?
Kind of.
Okay. He was a monkey, right?
Right. Some sort of monkey.
Okay. What did he look like? Did he look like a normal monkey?
No.
What was different about him?
Well, you mean about his looks?
Yeah.
I know he had a long tail.
Okay.
And his face was different than a regular monkey.
You're good there. Okay. Are you familiar with Star Wars besides the Darth Vader thing?
Possibly on the original ones.
So C-3PO, you know who that is?
Yes.
What color is he?
Depends.
Okay.
Old TV or new TV?
Old TV.
Old TV, new TV. It doesn't matter, actually.
It's a toss-up between gold and silver because it depends on how the settings on your TV are.
Okay, if you were watching on a 4K TV, what color would he be?
Gold.
Okay. Oscar Mayer. Do you remember the jingle? My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar.
Yes.
What's the second part of that? My baloney has a second name.
It's Mayer.
How'd you spell it?
Mayer.
Okay. Monopoly. The Monopoly guy.
Mm-hmm.
Does he wear glasses?
He has a monocle, I think.
Okay. In the movie The Matrix. Have you ever seen The Matrix?
I have. It's been a long time.
Morpheus, who's played by Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
Okay. There's memes all about it, and the memes are always like, "What if I told you?" and stuff like that. So, what does he say in that movie to Keanu Reeves?
Oh, I remember that part. What if I told you?
So you definitely remember that part. He said.
I do remember that part. It's been years since I've seen the movie, but I remember the part where he's talking to him, and it has, I think, people walking on the street and all that.
Okay, and it says, "What if I told you?"
I don't remember.
What was it?
The world is a reality that you know is a lie, or the world that you know.
That life. What if I told you life isn't real, or something like that? Okay. So there's that. What was the other big one, Chris? I did the Snow White.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
When did Nelson Mandela die?
Well, she probably wouldn't know that one. I mean, I didn't really even know that one.
What was that one?
Nelson Mandela, which is what this is named after. Hold on, I'm looking up some more. You're going to be blown away because it's just crazy.
Did Steve Bartman catch the ball, or did he?
Oh, here's one. JFK. When he was shot going there down the road there in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, how many people were in that car?
When he was shot, how many people were in the car?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I ever knew that, but I know besides the driver and him and Jackie, I know there was at least one other person in the front seat, I believe. So, I don't know if there was anyone else in the back.
So it was a 4-person car?
I don't know how many person car it was. I just don't remember how many people were in it.
But you think there were 4?
At least.
Okay, I already asked you Forrest Gump. How do you spell J.C. Penney?
JCPENNEY, I believe.
Okay. The champions are done. All right, Sally Fields, when she won that Oscar, and she kind of yelled something like, "You like me, you." What was it? Do you remember?
I never saw it.
No, people always comment it. They're like, "You like me, you really, really like me." Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know anything about that.
Skip that. Okay. What about Lucille Ball? I Love Lucy. You got some explaining to do. Ricky would always say that to her.
Right.
Okay. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. The Mona Lisa. Does it smile or does it just smirk? Like
it's just a smirk.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, how does the first part of the song go?
I gotta remember that part because I know
it's a beautiful
I can picture
day.
him walking in the door and taking his sweater off.
He says, "It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood."
Okay, you say it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood?
I think so.
Okay. Kit Kat bars.
Okay.
The wrapper.
Uh-huh.
How does the wrapper look? Does the Kit Kat one word, or does it have a dash in between the kit and the cat?
I think it has a dash on it.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a movie with Brad Pitt in it? That's some with a vampire.
Yes.
What's it called?
It's called Interview with the Vampire. No, that was.
No, you're right. Interview with
Was
what?
It wasn't Interview with the Vampire, was it?
Did you say Interview with the Vampire?
With a vampire.
Okay. Is that a vampire? Okay, Chick-fil-A. How do they? How's their sign read? Chick-fil-A.
I think it's Chick and then F-I-L and then an A under it.
But how is it, like, spell it out? Does it have dashes? Like, spell it out.
I don't think I think it's CHICFILA. I don't think there's dashes on the sign, but I don't know. I've never even been to a Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the saying, "Hello, Clarice"?
Yes.
What's that from?
That is from the Hannibal Lecter. What is the name of that movie?
You're right. Hannibal Lecter, The Silence of the Lambs. You're right.
Silent, yeah.
Okay. I asked you about Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sinbad. Do you know Sinbad, the comedian, the actor?
Yes.
Was he ever in a movie, genie movie called Shazam?
Shazam had Shaquille O'Neal or somebody in it, didn't it?
That was Shazam.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if he was or not.
How do you spell Fruit Loops, the cereal?
FROOTLOOPS.
Okay. And is it remember the bear, Smokey?
Yes.
What was he called?
A ranger?
No.
Is that what you mean?
What was his full name? What was it?
Smokey the Bear.
Okay, Smokey the Bear. Okay, whiteout. How do you spell whiteout?
You mean like the bottle of whiteout?
Yeah, the bottle of whiteout.
I think it's WITEOUT.
Okay.
Well, she uses it every day, so.
Yeah, right.
What's that?
What was the one you just showed me, Chris? Is that the one you showed me? Here it is, right here, actually. Oh, Looney Tunes.
Spell it.
Uh-huh.
How do you spell Looney Tunes? Remember, like Bugs Bunny and stuff?
Yeah. I think it's LOONYEY. And then Riley's in the background saying stuff. Apparently she can hear you. TUNES, I think. No, it's TOONS.
Okay. Okay. In the movie Field of Dreams, he hears a whisper. It's like, if you build it,
yeah.
What's that saying?
If you build it, they will come.
Okay. And then there's something from Barber Girl I'm not seeing. I have to read this one. I've not read that one yet. And then lastly, E.T. In the movie E.T. with the phone, what does he say?
E.T. phone home.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is go to my Facebook page and click on a link and watch us live, okay?
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yeah, hang on.
And then you can actually chat in there and let me know when you're on.
All right. Go to your Facebook page?
Yeah, there's a link right there. We're on YouTube. Is that a bug?
Probably.
What the hell? No, it's something hanging here, but there's nothing hanging there. Oh, it's the strings for my fan. Let me know when you're on.
I'm trying to get on there. It's pulling up. It's just running a little slow. Okay.
Do you see me and Chris on the porch or on the back deck?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What am I doing right now?
You're waving.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna hang up and I want you to listen, okay?
Okay.
And text us.
And don't forget to either text me or there's a chat you can see to the right hand side probably. Can you see that?
Or underneath it.
Oh. Okay. Well, then you can text me. Okay. All right, Jenny. So the Mandela Effect, we've been on for over 3 hours now, and
Really?
I want to
Has
do
it been
something
that long?
Yeah, and we've done stuff that is blowing our mind. The Mandela Effect is how we perceive things, and it started with Nelson Mandela, and he supposedly died 91, and then people remember him dying in 2013, and so on and so forth. Chris, go ahead. Would you mind explaining to her exactly what the Mandela Effect is?
Well, a lot of people don't know exactly, but what it is people remembering events in history differently, like like events, the way things are named.
Yeah, the phrases
that were said, lines from movies.
Yep.
They have a different memory, and I'm talking about not like one or two people were like, oh,
we're talking about billions.
You're talking about there's a large number of people who remember it this way,
like she just did, right?
Right.
Like,
and in fact, she had
E.T.
several. She had several.
She literally got like 2 correct out of all the ones I asked her, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call you back right now, Jenny, because I forgot one more. And this one's the biggest one of all. So I'm calling you right now, so you're probably going to laugh.
She's like, oh, okay, apparently. And mute your thing so you don't echo.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot to ask you. Isaiah, is it 11:6?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Bible, it says the lion laid with the lamb. Now you've probably heard the lion and the lamb throughout your life, right? It's always the lion and the lamb. Like around Christmas, you hear that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, have you actually heard of that? The lion and and just people saying stuff to Christianity, the lion and the lamb, they give the lion, laid with the lion and the lamb, so on and so forth. It's always got to do with the lion and the lamb.
Yes.
Okay, so you have heard of that. And
yes.
What was the other one I thought of? I thought of one more that was a big one. We did this one live a couple hours ago. And Gone with the Wind.
What was the famous line?
What was that famous line he said to her?
It was, well, everyone says it was, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn, but I know that's not what he said.
Okay. Well, that's perfect. Okay, I'm going to hang back up. Okay. So she evidently knows that much.
Right.
All right. So the Mandela Effect, first of all, is creepy because people think that our history and life has been altered.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of us remember stuff.
Different, and some, like you were talking about, differently.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that you're talking about, like it's you said Looney Tunes, TOONS.
It's not. It's TUNES.
And hence the fact that now you're like merry melodies.
Yeah. Okay. So you got that wrong. What else did I ask her? ET phone home.
It's ET home phone.
It's ET home phone.
Is what he said.
Is actually what he said. I can't remember what else. It does not say, Luke, I am your father. It says, no, I'm your father.
She had that one right because, I mean,
yeah,
that's actually been made a big, big stink out of lately.
The Mandela Effect has a lot to do with time travel and stuff like that. And we've been talking about this. And there's a couple examples here. You had, if you build it, they will come. Everybody always says that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's if you build it, he will come. Because he's talking about his dad. But everybody remembers it. If you build it, they will come.
I mean, that's the joke. The guy who, the guy who built
every bar. If you build it, the
guy who built the vibrator heard.
Yeah,
if you build it,
will come. Then there's what was the other one I asked her? Wasn't Field of Dreams. If you remember any of the questions I asked you. Oh, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay. Now here's the big one for me. In the movie The Matrix, what if I told you this was all a lie? It's not even in the movie at all, ever, anywhere. You can watch it. It's not in there. Trust me. Did it 30 times a day. It's not in there. Snow White, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
It's magic
mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Berenstain Bears. It's the
Berenstain Bears.
As much as like I remember the steen out of it, like everything now is stain. Like even if you go back to the books that we had when we were kids.
Yep.
We're kids.
Chick-fil-A is actually CHICK FIL #A. I don't remember that. Now what we're trying to get at is we all remember these. Millions of these people said the same thing you did. Everybody.
There is no final lyric to "We Are the World."
There is no.
Or
We Are the Champions is the end of the song.
Yeah.
Of the world. Now I know I've heard of the world. I'm going to show you this, just to prove to you, because I know I've heard of the world. Right? We are the champions. Now I'm going to show you this right here. Now, I know you've heard it 100 times. Everybody's heard this song. Know of the world.
Oh, and by the way, Curious George did not have a tail.
Curious George did not have a tail, which is the first.
Because he was a chimpanzee.
Now, what we're trying to get at is you are not wrong. The Mandela Effect.
And C-3PO was gold and silver.
Yeah, his right leg was silver all the time. But even video games, Lucas himself had toys made of all gold. Luke, I'm your father. Even the voice of Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, thought it is actually, no, I'm your father. Now, what the Mandela Effect says basically means we all are not remembering things wrong. Our past and stuff has been altered by
an outside
entity, whether it be the CERN super collider, like you talked about, or whether it be time travelers or whatever. But you swore in the Matrix that you knew that he said, "What if I told you?" You've seen the memes that say
you might not remember the whole words, but what if I told you? You definitely were like, I remember that.
Now let me ask you this: what if I told you it was not even ever in the movie at all? Nothing, nada. None of those words were in there. So. And Jenny got off. What did she get off for?
She's like, no, this isn't real.
She's probably checking.
Yeah, probably. Because YouTube, you have to have YouTube Red in order to move off.
It's still 0. It shows 0 people watching.
I'm watching it. I heard you say that.
So what do you think about this? This is a global phenomenon that's taken over. That people remember. All of us remember.
X-Files episode on it. The new X-Files. They had.
It's nothing new.
Huh?
I said it's nothing new.
What do you mean it's nothing new? This is something that all of us remember, and now it's all of a sudden changed.
Well, I think it's partly just like C-3PO. I would have never known he had one silver leg because the TV was never a good color.
What about Luke, I am your father? What about?
I knew that that's not what he said. I just didn't know what he said because it's been so many years since I watched it.
The first thing you said about Curious George was he had a long tail.
Yeah, I thought he did because I remembered a cartoon where he was using this tail.
I remember a cartoon where he was using a tail too.
That's the thing we're trying to get at. We remember an alternate reality that these things happen. I know for a fact that I heard that. There are memes all over the internet with Morpheus saying, "What if I told you?" Blah, blah, blah. It's not even in the movie anywhere.
Well, I don't even remember hardly The Matrix. So
well, that's what I'm getting at. What the point of it is the Mandela Effect is a phenomenon that's going on. And it's getting more and more. It's almost like
it's getting more coverage.
Reality. And the fact of the matter is we all remember stuff, especially our age, how we grew up. We remember it certain ways, and now it's like changed.
Growing up with going to church and all the other stuff.
Like it was always the lion and the lamb. It's actually the wolf.
The lion,
the wolf and the lamb.
Yeah.
And it depends on what, because there are versions of the Bible that say the lion. But
actually there's not. I've looked it up in multiple.
When there was no computers and all of that, where you see quotes and memes all around.
No, I have an 1879 Bible, King James version.
Well, yeah, the original version said the wolf.
That says the wolf, and every other version that I've
Bible
seen
that says the lion and the lamb.
I have not seen one. And I went through the library here in Anderson, Ball State, and several other, like looking through the Ninia version and every version, and not seen one that said the lion.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's one for you that happened to me. Okay, I literally just picked one out of the blue. Said, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. You said it too.
Yeah, I said that's what everyone says. I know that's not what it is, but I've never actually watched the whole movie. It's what?
Frankly, darling, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Scarlett. I
now
here's one.
Play it again, Sam.
Me. What's that?
Play it again, Sam.
Play it again, Sam. That's not one. I can't even remember what that
Casablanca.
Was. Casablanca. It was, but I can't remember what.
Play it one more time.
Play it one more time. Yeah. My mom is 65 years old. We always thought her middle name was Marie. Last year, somehow she found out her middle name was Maria.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, it's like the butterfly effect, and it's like somehow something over time. If you look in the Mandela effect, you will see some of these things that blow your mind. It's crazy. And I asked you some questions from to see what you would say, and you are with the masses. You said same things.
You actually remembered things that aren't true.
Yeah, you remembered. You said you remember for a fact that in the movie Matrix, what if I told you? I remember it too, but it's not in there now. It's weird as hell.
The Berenstain Bears was the big one.
I always thought it was the Berenstain Bears.
Well, that one doesn't make any sense to say that, though, because that was a book, and that's depends on who pronounced it. You know what I mean? I've never heard anyone
we
say
remember
that. I've never watched
spelled.
the cartoon of it.
We remember it spelled with the S or the TIEN or IEN or whatever, not the AIN.
Yeah.
Like the spelling is different.
We just wanted to pick somebody at random and ask them these questions and see what they'd say, because you are with the millions and millions of us who said the same thing. And Chris and I answered these questions before and went out and found out the truth. And it's not necessarily the truth. It's like they've been changed. And it's really odd.
Well, maybe it's a real life Matrix.
That's one of the actual explanations of this. There is a thing that Keanu Reeves ironically memes says, what if I told you the Matrix was an actual documentary? There was a guy on here that told us he believed, he's been on here and he was watching us, he believed that that we are all basically in the Matrix. He was watching us for a long time and talking. And he basically said the same thing. Like, he believes that we are all part of a digital footprint and so on and so forth.
Oh, the musician. You were talking about it where like the girl got flustered about the lyrics and tweeted the lead singer.
A Panic at the Disco. There's a lyric in the guy's song. And this girl got so flustered, she tweeted him about it.
And he remembered it the other way.
He goes, oh, wow, this is a Berenstain Bears kind of situation. And that's all he typed back. Because he couldn't remember the lyric to the song because people remembered it two different ways.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so it's kind of like what we're getting at is we're not saying we're wrong. If you look into it, it's like our reality somewhere has been changed somehow because millions and millions of people remember this all the same way, and now it's different. And that's what we wanted to try to experiment with somebody that wasn't sitting here that we could ask these questions to and see how many of them thought the same way the other millions and millions of people thought, you know, because that's just what we thought. Like, I always thought it was mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. You know, and there's all kinds of stuff out there, and it's crazy. If you look into it, it's really spooky.
I believe that.
And with the Panic at the Disco thing, like the song I write the sins, or I write sins not tragedies is the song that
Yeah, that's it.
Something about something about a goddamn door, not the goddamn door.
Yeah, and that's what she hit him about, and he tweeted back, "This is a Berenstain Bears."
Well, and factually, she tweeted out, and Halsey tweeted to him, explain, and he was like, "I can't."
Yeah,
like straight up, like I can't.
So we just wanted to use you as somebody we like walking to off the street and saying, "What, like, is it Luke? I am your father," or what stuff like that. So thank you for participating.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay.
But that just goes to show you right there that like she was almost pessimistic about it. Like it wasn't. It's not a phenomenon. It's just like a misunderstanding, but it's not. If we all remember it that way, how are millions and millions and millions of us remembering it wrong?
Because there's nothing that has hit her to where she like she was going with the flow, like, oh well, this I just misremember, yada yada. And a lot of people do that. They'll just go, oh, that's my bad. I don't remember it that way. I must be whatever. But then you start digging into it, and it's like, wait a minute. And that's what I was telling her. I was like, she's like, well, there's so many different versions and so many different things of this or that and the other. So, coming to the point, like, if you can't actually find, you can start like, oh, that was just another translation of the Bible.
Yeah.
New James or King James version or the Nineveh version or whatever. They just did something different.
I want to see the clip it's not from Bond where Jaws actually, I want to see if there is a clip where the girl has braces, because everybody remembers it. They even made a commercial for Visa with them at the line, and it showed her and she's smiling and she's got braces. I mean, it's straight right there.
As we go back to like digging on things.
Yeah, we're digging on things. Here's my thing that cracks me up is, like I said, with the Luke, I am your father.
Mm-hmm.
It even says on that toy from Lucas, the toy company that George Lucas owns, he's staying on there, and you hit it, goes, Luke, I am your father. I'll put on here. I'll even do it on Tommy Boy.
And what's funny is we were talking about like people trying to debunk stuff. It's like, well, no, here, like this, that,
How can you debunk it?
Well, the problem is there is no proof. That's the whole part of the Mandela effect.
Here's the Tommy Boy. And we played a lot of clips for stuff like the mask using Sally Fields thing, which is wrong. All this stuff. So here's some Tommy Boy.
It won't let you down.
With him doing the fan.
Luke, I am your father.
I mean, everybody, for some reason, hears it the same exact way. And it cracks me up because, I mean, you know what's really funny? Its life was like a box of chocolates, right? Am I wrong?
When I first saw the dialogue that said, Luke, I am your father, I said to myself, he's lying. I wonder how they're going to play that liar. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me it now. He told me you killed him. No. I am your father. Say what?
Say what? You know, I got one.
So when the guy who said the line remembers it as Luke, I am your father.
And everybody remembers that way. Everybody remembers E.T. Phone Home. And we just watched it. It was E.T. Home Phone. Now, was that right? No, it probably wasn't right. And he probably did say E.T. Phone Home. I'm just saying, there may be even something out there that says E.T. Phone Home. We're going to do it live right here. Let's see a parody. Try to find one here. Oops, I need to go to YouTube.
So I mean, just saying, because you remember something, on vice versa. Vice versa. Like whether you remember in a Mandela effect or you remember what history or what the history is now, if you believe how Mandela effects happen. Can you honestly say that the fact that millions of people remember it a certain way,
the same way,
the same way, and like to the point where and these are things that's like before miscommunications on TV or not TV but on internet.
100% proof Mandela effect is real.
Phone home. E.T. Phone home. Like you've never experienced it before.
That was from the actual movie. Listen.
Phone home.
He says E.T. Phone Home, right?
Mm-hmm.
E.T. Phone home.
Right.
Phone home.
And that's how we remember it.
That's how we remember it.
E.T. home phone.
And that's when she goes, E.T. Phone home.
Watch. Here's the actual clip from the movie.
The 2018 Ford F-150.
It's not the 2018 Ford F-150. It's not that. Here's the actual clip from E.T.
Phone? He said phone? He said phone? Can't you understand English? He said phone. Home. You're right. That's E.T.'s home. Home. E.T. home phone.
And you heard it just a minute ago on the other one. He says E.T. Phone home.
And that's when she said E.T. Phone home.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna grab another piece of evidence. You keep them entertained.
What am I supposed to do? Like dancing? Naked hairy guy dancing. No, we'll lose everybody. So what we were talking about though is like you can't. There's a lot of stuff that you're looking at. You can say like, well, no, I remember this way. You can't like just go back to the thing. It's like, okay, well, here's where it says this. It's always said this. You can go back as far as you want and say this. It doesn't work that way because there are people who remember it saying something different. And I know it's like, well, it's just false memories, but the idea is something has happened and changed the history. If you want to say Dustin was talking about time travel, something has gone back and actually changed the route, and only some of us remember what it actually originally was versus and this might sound far-fetched. It might sound like something like straight out of a Twilight Zone movie, but there are millions of people who are starting to start thinking like, wait a minute, something's changing. Kit Kat, does it have a dash in the middle or doesn't it? Do you remember that it having a dash at one time and changing the logo? Guess what? It never had the dash. I remember having a dash. Is that because I, saw a logo that somebody did sometime in the past. I don't know. Honestly, I never really thought about it. It wasn't something I just remember Kit-Kat, and and if you look back at the history of the Kit Kat logo, there's never been a dash. So there's just little stuff like go through and and just Google Mandela Effect and look through the different stuff. Some people say that Kirk Douglas died in the 90s after greed. And of course, you got people saying, no, he's 99 years old. Which, surprised the crap out of a whole lot of people. And like, well, I thought he died back in the day. Okay, maybe that's not a good example because Hollywood people like die every day on the internet, and they're not.
Find the Facebook or the DVD sleeve for Forrest Gump, and on the back of it, VHS sleeve for Forrest Gump.
Showing pictures that match.
Images.
It's getting kind of dark.
Right there, we've determined that it says life was like a box of chocolates. Never know what you're gonna get.
That's actually the line in the movie.
This is the back of the sleeve right there.
Well, is it in focus?
Yeah.
Okay.
The back of the sleeve says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Are these proof that the Mandela Effect actually is real? I believe in it. I think that it's real.
You want to know what sad is these things keep multiplying.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. So,
like, you watch this whole thing, you just like 1, 2, 3.
We don't have anybody else watching now. Oh, we got somebody watching. So, if you just saw what I showed you, it's craziness. We spent 3.5 hours speaking about it. It's been really fun. We had a lot of interaction with people, and I really appreciate that.
I think I got to go cook dinner.
Yeah, I got to go home too. But I tell you, it was really awesome. If you get a chance, look into Mandela Effect. Look at all the things for yourself and take a look at it and see what you think. I personally think that it's got to do with some kind of time travel or space-time continuum, string theory, alternate universe, something.
It's something. And I'm going to shameless plug again. If this is the type of stuff you like to listen to Saturday nights on Geek Public Radio, metalandmadness.com. We talk about this stuff. It's the real metalandmadness.com. We talk about paranormal conspiracy theories, Bigfoot, the lost city of Atlantis, the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. We used to do that on HP Radio on Rebels, so it was fun to do this tonight. Drank a few beers, had a little bit of fun. And I want to thank Jenny for coming on and being our guinea pig. And look into this for yourself. The Mandela Effect. You will be blown away at some of the things you think. And the problem
you can skeptical, and
you're not wrong. That's what we're trying to say. What you're remembering is right. It's something's been changed.
Even if you come in skeptical, there's going to be something that you go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's at least one thing that you're going to go, wait a minute. That's not
the Matrix. Everybody swears up and down. What if I told you? I even do. I remember it. Go watch it. It's not in there. It's not in. It's not. There's nothing even said in there.
Right.
It is. It is not even. None of them words are uttered. It is creepy. So, not saying you guys are wrong. We believe that you guys are all right, along with us, because we remember things differently as well.
We believe you.
We believe you big time. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys that are watching this on the recording. Leave a comment and let us know what you think, and give us some of your ideas that we can look up and add on as well. On behalf of myself and Chris, thank you for tuning in. Check out geekpublicradio.com for some more, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Sorry, I had to throw my shameless plugs in there.
Wow, we started and it was like daylight.